It is opening day 2022. We are glad you are with us, and we are broadcasting live today. We are at STENY'S, Second and National in Walker's Point in downtown Milwaukee. And we're looking forward to opening the doors here in just a little bit and getting the broadcast underway. The shuttles are going to be running later on this afternoon, getting you down to American Family Field. That is a live look at the bar as they are getting ready and preparing for the fans to start walking through the door, which I would assume it's going to be a little bit later crowd. It's probably going to be an 11 o'clock crowd. But good to have you today. Brewers get a nice win yesterday. So now they took 2 out of 3 from Baltimore. Is everybody back to being okay? Is everybody back to being okay? Because the Brewers get a victory yesterday. So the Brewers right now only a game behind St. Louis, obviously. The Cardinals are coming to town. So the Cardinals sitting at 3-1, the Cubs sitting at 3-2, Brewers 3-3, back to 500. Cincinnati continues to falter. Pittsburgh doing the same. A game and a half back, and that's where the standings are in a very, very early portion of this 2022 baseball season. But good stuff. They get that win yesterday, and that's really, you know what, coming out of Baltimore after somewhat of a slow start, you take it. 4-2. They ended up doubling them up. Boxberger ends up getting the win, and Josh Hader with yet another save for his save opportunities. But ultimately, Corbin Burnes looked good. 7 innings. 97 pitches, 59 for strikes yesterday. Looks solid. Gave up only 3 hits, 8 strikeouts, a walk. Now you hope that Brandon Woodruff, who goes to the hill today, can give you a solid performance. But I heard a lot of the debate during the morning show as I was setting up down here at STENY'S and getting everything ready. I was listening to the morning show with Ebo and the gang out in Madison. And Ben, is there just a lot of consternation about whether or not you should be pulling pitchers this early when they have really solid outings going this early in the season? Is that really what I'm kind of hearing?
Yeah, it happened last year. Remember when Craig Counsell pulled Corbin Burnes? But yeah, with Dave Roberts pulling Kershaw yesterday, it naturally came back up. Yeah. Perfect game through 7, I believe it was, with 80 pitches.
Nope, you pull them. I know a lot of people don't feel that way, but on a shortened spring training, sprinting to get to the regular season, and then on top of that, you're only into the regular season by 2 starts. I said this, you and I talked about this before the season got underway, and nobody argued that point. Nobody argues it until it actually happens, but nobody argued the point. I said it doesn't matter if he's throwing a no-hitter, if he's throwing a perfect game. Once you get to 70, 80 pitches, that's pretty much it. I was actually surprised that Corbin Burnes threw as many last night as he did. That was a little bit, I thought for sure with about 80, 85 pitches, they would have pulled him. They let him go 97 last night because he was throwing good, and they let him get out of the 7th inning. But I thought for sure that they would have said, "Nah, baby, nah." They would have gone ahead and pulled him prior to that. I was surprised they let him get close to 100 pitches. But he was throwing the ball well. But there's no way that I'm allowing Clayton Kershaw to continue in that ball game if I'm the Dodgers. It's about winning the longevity of the season. And managers will tell you that all the time. Fans will get pissed. Fans will pound their fists. And I get it. It's good for the game. To see a perfect game, they're so incredibly rare. But to risk the shoulder, to risk the elbow, to risk the health for the one game, that moment. Let's just say he gets through the 7th, gets through the 8th, gets into the middle of the 9th, but now he's sitting at 110 pitches. He's way overextended where he should have been. And not only do they get a base hit or they get a runner on, but then in addition to that, he starts to feel a twinge in his shoulder. It's not worth it. The longevity of that is not worth it. You just appreciate the moment and what he did and what he accomplished. And then you look for the next 2, 3, 5, 7, 10 outings to be successful and to build upon that. But I get it. I'm an old school baseball guy. I want to see it's good for the game. I want to see the perfect game. I want to see the no-hitter, but not the first week of the season after an expedition. Had it not been for, you can actually say that Clayton Kershaw lost his bid for a perfect game due to the lockout. Because had there not been a lockout and there had been a full-length spring training to be able to ramp these guys up properly, chances are you let him go. Chances are he's probably got enough work in spring training to be able to say, yeah, you can go ahead and do it. but I didn't see it happening. I saw the little, how you get the alerts on your phone for whatever sporting event's going on. I get the finals pop up, when the Brewers win or lose or whatever happens in the National League Central, and then you get the headlines. And I got the MLB app that popped up and said Clayton Kershaw in the midst of a perfect game after 5, after 6, and I thought, oh boy, and I started to pay attention. I thought, there's no way they're going to let him go, and then sure enough, they pulled him. So I think it was the right move. Others don't, but we'll debate that. It's one of those great, where we sit today inside a bar. It's one of those great barroom discussions. Great barroom discussions. Do you or do you not let him go? That's and there's nobody wrong. That's the best part about it. Everybody ends up buying beer at the end of the day. So I'm good with that. But the Brewers, the big news was that the Brewers got a win. Devin Williams, he choked. Only a third of an inning pitch. Gave up a couple of hits. Gave up a couple of runs. Did not look good. Both of those runs earned, by the way. It wasn't a good outing for him. Boxberger comes in, goes 2/3, closes out the inning. In the 8th, Hader comes in the 9th, does what he does. Didn't blow everybody away. As a matter of fact, didn't have a strikeout, had the one walk, but for the most part, 12 pitches, 6 strikes, and he gets 3 outs and pretty much done with the inning and throws up another set of goose eggs as far as an ERA goes for the season. So Josh Hader, his 3rd save of the year in as many attempts. So kudos to him. So the Brewers are back to even, and the Brewers come back home. I was driving past American Family Field today. The lots are cleaned up. Everything's bright. It's sunny. It's beautiful. However, when you go outside, you notice it. And as I sit here today and I look out the window and I watch, leaves and debris and anything else that you find on city streets blowing past, a garbage can down the road a little while ago just kind of toppled over. The winds are picking up. They're talking sustained winds of 30 to 40 miles an hour, gusts well over 50. We saw gusts just west of us out in Iowa and in Minnesota a little earlier today, topping out at 65. So it is going to be an incredibly blustery day if you think you're going to do any tailgating at American Family Field, which is why I've said all along, we are live. We're here at STENY'S. They're going to open the doors coming up here in about 20 minutes. And if you want to come on down and you want to suck up one of the award-winning Bloody Marys, chase it with whatever you want to chase it with. You've got the award-winning wings down here. You've got the Bill Michaels garlic cheese bread, all the food. They're going to open everything up. So come on down and join us pregame with us. And then they run the shuttles. The STENY'S shuttles will be heading down to the ballpark. So you can just jump on the shuttle. You can park here, jump on the shuttle, let them do the driving, battle the traffic, drop you off right there by the front door, walk in, get done with the game, walk out, jump on the shuttle, head back here, pick up your car, and head on home. It's the easiest way to do it. Doesn't cost you anything for parking. Plus, it's just a great time down here. I've always said this place is like the Cheers of Milwaukee, without a doubt. So we're going to be here all damn day. It's a fun one. It's 414. It's 414. It's the 414 day. Game today, 414. We are in Milwaukee, which is the 414 area code, here on the 14th of April, the 414 day, and we are brought to you by our friends at Bud Light and Budweiser. Budweiser, by the way, the official beer sponsor of Major League Baseball. Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the Bill Michaels Show. And the seltzer with that pop, the hard soda, the loudest flavor ever, classic cola, cherry cola, citrus soda, orange soda, Bud Light. They nailed it. They got it right. And by the way, all with 0 sugars. Enjoy responsibly. So we're going to talk with Kevin Holden from CBS 58. It's going to join us down here on site. Kevin's going to be here today. We're looking forward to that. We're going to be joined by a longtime friend. Chuck Freeman's going to be here in about 45 minutes. For those that remember Chuck and I doing shows together some years ago at one of the old stations, and Chuck and I had so much fun. Every time we did a huddle together, people loved it. Chuck is like the Rain Man of Wisconsin when it comes to history and specifically Brewers baseball and Packers football. But we're just going to have a good time. We're going to reminisce. We're going to chat a little bit. We're going to have a good time and a lot of fun before he heads on down to the ballpark and Kevin heads there. And we're waiting to see when Andrew Wagner wakes up. He's a grouchy morning guy. So we're hoping that he joins us down here on site today as well. So looking forward to all of that. And don't forget our buddy Jim Ozarski from the Journal-Sentinel. He wrote a terrific piece that went out yesterday, and I posted it and over on the Facebook fan page. And Jim Ozarski covers the Bucs. He is at Bucs practice this morning. If he can make it here, he will. Otherwise, he will call us from the Bucs practice facility. We'll talk with him about that tremendous piece that he wrote on Giannis and going back to the Giannis's philosophies. So we're going to talk with him coming up a little bit later on. So anyway, Andrew said that he's going to try to come down and join us as well. I'm getting word. So that's good. It's going to be a fun time today. So we got all that going on. Obviously, we're going to try to stay away from all the negativity when it comes to football and such and everything coming out regarding the NFL. We'll get into that at another time. We can still talk a little NFL draft and do that. Also, Tiger Woods, some Tiger Woods news today as well. We're going to talk with him, or not talk with him, but about him as he gets ready to ramp up for the Open at St. Andrews coming up in Scotland. He is committed to play in the Open after the final round at Augusta, but he has also announced there's some other things going on. So we're gonna bring you that information too, coming up a little bit later on in the program. So there you go. In the meantime, you got the NBA, and now that you've got pretty much everybody set, you got the Hawks and the Cavaliers, the Pelicans and the Clippers coming up coming up on Friday. That'll be happening. Then you got some more contests coming up on Saturday, 4 of them to be exact. The Jazz, the Mavericks, Timberwolves, Grizzlies, Raptors, 76ers, Nuggets, and Warriors. And then the Bucks play. They play the Bulls 5:30 Central Time. The Bulls and the Bucks, that's going to take place. Still waiting to get the update coming up for the TBD, the to be announced, determined against the Heat. That's going to be the noon tip-off on TNT coming up on Sunday. The Nets and the Celtics, and then the Suns going to face off to whomever wins the play-in games coming up tonight. So that'll be taking place as well. That'll also be happening on Sunday. But the Bucks are the 5:30 game. So the noon game is the Heat. The 2:30 game Central Time on ABC will be the Nets and the Celtics. And then the 5:30 game on TNT will be the Bulls and the Bucks in Game 1 down at the Fiserv Forum. That series starts, and looking forward to that. And then obviously the late game on Sunday night will be the Suns hosting whomever wins that playoff game in Game 1 out there in Phoenix. So looking forward to all of that as the NBA is just about upon us as well. But the Brewers, let's talk a lot of Brewers baseball today. We'll open up the phone lines, 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. If you want to hit us up, you can do so. You can find us over on Twitter at Bill_Michaels. To all of you watching over on the Facebook fan page, YouTube, on Twitch TV, thanks for joining us. And if you want to give us a shout, you can, but you can also follow us over on YouTube. Subscribe there for free. Watch the program all day today as well. Go to youtube.com/Bill Michaels, Michaels, Bill Michaels Show. And you can do the same on Twitch TV. Find us over on Facebook. You can follow us on Twitter at Bill_Michaels and watch the show there as well. And this comes from Brett. Brett says, Bill said, Ebo said you guys are doing a draft show for the first round. We are. We'll be doing a draft show coming up on the 28th. We're going to be doing the first round live. We go on the air at 7 o'clock Central Time. 7 o'clock Central Time. We're going to be doing the show, and we'll be bringing in a few guests. We'll probably be joined by our buddy Mike Clemens as well, whether it's in person or on the phone. But we'll be covering the first round of the NFL draft for you. All the picks. We'll bring all the picks. We'll break it all down. We'll talk about what the best available is, what the Packers should be thinking. We'll bring you the trades, everything coming up on that Thursday night, the 28th. So look for that as well on many of these same stations, all throughout the Bill Michaels Sports Talk Network and all throughout the state of Wisconsin. And you can find us in many different listening phases. Go to thebillmichaels.com. You can also track us down on the app. You've got The Zone out in Madison, WOZN, The Zone Madison. You can download that app. And then don't forget, you can also find all of the programs, everything, over on Spotify, Apple iTunes. You can listen to us live on iHeart, listen to us live on Odyssey, and you can also find us on Google Podcasts as well. If you're looking for us and you say you can't find us, I say you ain't trying. It's that simple. Stay tuned. We got a lot more of the Bill Michaels Show. It's coming up. We're live at STENY'S. We'll be back right after this.
This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
The NASCAR Series returns. Secure your tickets to see the big guns roar around the road course in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. For all the racing information, go to roadamerica.com. That is roadamerica.com.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
You got to hit it, bang it, rock it, put it in the pocket.
Welcome back to the program. We are broadcasting live. We are at STENY'S, Second and National, Walker's Point, and we are enjoying the day. It is opening day. The Brewers come back 500. It's just as if the season's starting today. Sitting at 3-3 on the young season, getting a win in Baltimore last night, 4-2, doubling up the Orioles, getting the win. Coming back home late last night. Corbin Burnes looked incredibly solid, and what more can you say? What more can you say? So really good stuff from our buddy Corbin Burnes last night, and Brandon Woodruff on the hill today, going up against the St. Louis Cardinals, and the Brewers, by the way, trailing the Cardinals by a game in the standings. And that being said, it is a pretty. I don't want to say it's a big series early on this early. But it's a big series in the sense that you're opening up. It's a division rival, a lot of excitement. Brewers fans, I mean, waking up today and watching a lot of the coverage. I will say this, it's not the start of the baseball season. It's a little bit anticlimactic. Does it feel that way, Ben? Just a little, because the season is already underway. They've already got 6 games under their belt, and now they're coming home for the home open for quote opening day, so to speak.
I think so, but only because of the fact that we've already had the sky is falling and this team is amazing jump in just 5 games.
Yeah, it's I agree with that. Yeah, I agree with that. It's just it's you're into the season, you're sitting at 500, you're a game back. It is what it is, that type of thing. It's not the same as the opening. I love it when the Brewers open up at home. By the way, our buddy Dwayne says, I was wondering if you guys are going to do the draft show. Sweet. We are doing a draft show. He says also have some Reuben bites for me at STENY'S. He said they're damn good. The Reuben rolls down here are awesome. Reuben rolls, the wonton crust, the dipping sauce. You get one of the award-winning Bloody Marys, which, by the way, Ben, I think we will imbibe today a little on the air. I thought you were making your way down here today. I thought you were going to try to come.
I couldn't. Too much going on here.
Okay.
I was here late recording our show.
Ebo wouldn't let you go?
No, I just couldn't make it work. Zach and I had to record our show, Kenny and Halprin, yesterday because of the Brewers game today. So we had to carry it. I was here late, and there's a lot going on.
Nice. Well, having a job and working is good, as opposed to not. So I gather that.
Oh, it's great. I'm going to get down there during weekends. I don't know.
Okay.
During the week, it's a hard commute to do normally, you know?
Yeah, I understand that. It's about, from my house into the office there is probably about 50 minutes. So it's not terrible, but I get it. If you don't have to, you would rather not, but I get it. My buddy Josh watching the program today. And Josh, by the way, a huge, almost obnoxiously huge Cubs fan. And if he's watching the program and listening to it, I'm sure he's giggling a little bit. The lead singer for the Cheap Shots, too, by the way, said, even today, I'm a Brewers fan. Beat the Cardinals. And then we got our buddy Jason said, I'm not a Cards fan, but how cool is it to see Pujols back with the Cardinals this year and to see what he did the other night? It's what would really add juice is if you had Pujols back and he, came in with some kind of larger than life prowess, so to speak. He is on the hunt for a milestone when it comes to home runs. I give you that. But then to see La Russa back. So that way you could just really seethingly, passionately, with everything in your intestines, hate the St. Louis Cardinals. Just to hate them. I just loved to talk to, but hated listening to Tony La Russa. Just such an ass. Blaming everything from the ribbon boards to the way Brewers pitchers threw. And we knew he was as big of a shyster as anybody. And couldn't wait to listen to him just blame everybody else for all their problems. And then it ultimately comes up at some point or another, whenever Tony La Russa would speak, somebody in the background of whatever interview that he's doing on the radio always begins to play that segment in which he begins to do the alphabet after getting pulled over or picked up in his car in Florida when he couldn't recite the alphabet, which is absolutely hilarious. It's a shame that he got busted like that, but anyway, that's what it is. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. Give us a hit if you choose to do so. Mark says Clayton Kershaw, he should have been allowed to at least try to finish a perfect game. Those are so rare. It was his first start of the season. His first start of the 2022 season. No. I get it. He's a 3-time Cy Young Award winner. And going 7 perfect innings, that's fantastic. But no, hit your first start of the season. He threw 80 pitches, 53 for strikes. He was keeping the ball down, had a lot of movement. I get it, but not in your first start of the season. No, I'm just not going to do it. And by the way, if you were following along, which after I get the notification from MLB that he had a perfect game through 5, I started watching. He was throwing a ton of sliders. And they kept talking about that, making note of that he was throwing a ton of sliders. So it's one thing if you're just heating up, you're throwing out all-out heat, but with all that torque on your arm consistently for your first real big start of the season, I'm not doing it. The goal is to win a World Series. The goal is not to go ahead and blow your arm out throwing a bunch of sliders to guys early on. I'm sorry, I just wouldn't do it. I get some people are upset about it, but I wouldn't do it. Other news and notes, by the way, that I wanted to bring up. We talked about this a minute ago. The week after competing in the Masters, Tiger Woods he's committed to play in the J.P. McManus Pro-Am at Adair Manor. That's in Limerick, Ireland, on July 4th and 5th. The Pro-Am benefits the charities in Ireland. It's going to be played 10 days prior to the start of the Open Championship, which is going to be at St. Andrews in Scotland. It's the 150th, by the way, Open Championship. And Woods then committed to playing the Open right after the Masters, but he wants to play in that Pro-Am. He wants to loosen up a little bit. Now, he is not committed to anything else, and, he feels pretty good about finishing 47th at the Masters after making his first start in an official event in more than 17 months following that car crash that caused those serious injuries to his leg and such. But that Pro-Am event in Ireland, hosted by J.P. McManus, which is, by the way, an Irish racehorse owner and a former shareholder of Manchester United. But he was asked to play. Tiger accepted. So we'll see if he plays in anything else leading up to that or anything here in the next couple of months. But right now, he did go ahead and say, hey, I will play in that as well, which is kind of the ramp up, if you will, to playing in the Open Championship. So Tiger's going to be playing in that. We are brought to you by some of our great friends. We talk about it all the time. These are the sponsors that help us out and put us on site at so many of these different broadcasts. Joey Albanese and the whole gang at Albanese's Roadhouse, Blue Mound Road in Waukesha, right next to the Menards there. They are looking for more participants for their bocce ball tournaments on Monday night. So if you're looking to play some bocce ball at Albanese's, by all means, get a hold of them out there. Also by our friends, Wisconsin Harley Davidson. Craig Winger, the GM, if you're going to go to Wisconsin Harley today, try to get a deal. Craig is leaving early, heading down to the game today. Got some tickets, taking him and some of the staff members. So go to Wisconsin Harley Davidson this upcoming weekend, and it's going to be warmer next weekend. But go to wishd.com, that is wishd.com, and see all that they have to offer, including new bikes, new motor clothes, all that kind of good stuff. Check out Wisconsin Harley Davidson, and also by our friends at Burn Pit Barbecue. Go to burnpitbbq.com. That is burnpitbbq.com. Brewers coming up later on today. We are live. We're down at STENY'S. Brewers got a win over the Orioles 4-2 yesterday. Coming up today, going to be taking on the Cardinals back at American Family Field. Adam Wainwright on the hill for the Cardinals. Brandon Woodruff did not look sharp in his last outing. He is going to be on the hill today for the Milwaukee Brewers, who come back finally at even, a game behind St. Louis in the standings. And the Brewers actually favored in this game a little bit. And the over and the under on scoring is 8 today. Meanwhile, the rest of the National League Central, the Reds are on the road out in L.A. taking on the Dodgers. Pittsburgh hosting the Nationals. And then the Cubs are on the road taking on the Colorado Rockies in the Mile High City. So that's the way things shake out in the National League Central. We are broadcasting live. We're at Steny, Second and National. Walker's Point. It's Brewers opening day. Stay tuned. We got more coming up right after this.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket. This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 5 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 4 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Welcome back to the program. We are glad you're with us. Thanks so much, as always. Certainly appreciate it. Broadcasting live. We're at STENY'S, Second and National Walker's Point, opening the doors for those of you that are thinking about coming down here at whatever point, maybe to grab some lunch or what have you prior to the game. They're going to run the shuttles over to American Family Field later on today. Brewers later on today taking on the Cardinals. Got Brandon Woodruff on the hill, looking to bounce back after an ugly performance early on, and then obviously Adam Wainwright to the hill tonight for the St. Louis Cardinals. In the meantime, for those of you that are watching on the Bud Light live stream, a familiar face that I worked with for many years, our buddy, you got to scoot in a little bit, Chuck. Chuck Freeman is here.
Hey
How
there.
you doing, man?
I'm doing great. It's great. You know, you and I haven't done a show together, been on the radio for probably over 3 years.
It's
Before
been about
the pandemic.
That, yeah.
We did
Yeah.
a couple of podcasts together, but
Yeah.
that was it. And yeah, it's great to be back in the old haunt. STENY'S. I was down here for the football season watching some Sunday Ticket
Yeah.
and all that. Yeah, but yeah, opening day. I wish it was starting a little earlier, 4:15. I don't have my game clothes on. I just got done doing the morning sports over on which I do right now on WIBA. I absolutely love it. And you know, I'm kind of between the, you know, got to get a little open time here and came down to have some lunch with you.
So where did you now? Because so much has changed. Because before you were commuting Lamira and back and apartments, and then you had Shannon was in Green Bay, and so where are you building your house?
So we built a house in Lamira.
Okay.
Which is 45 minutes north of Milwaukee, and I work out of the Milwaukee office for iHeartRadio. AM 920,
which carries this program,
which is legendary radio station, WOKY. I mean, that was like the first radio station I ever listened to growing up in Milwaukee. They played all the hit music back in the 70s, and you know, they've evolved over the years, and now they're an all sport. They've been an all sports station for several years. A good station, great people over there, and I do the morning sports on WIBA in Madison, which I do out of the Milwaukee office, and which I love being on that show every day with Robin and Sean, and you know, cover the Brewers. I cover the Brewers for AP and the Bucks and Wisconsin Badgers from time to time. But yeah, still doing the same thing, but built this house at a wrong time.
Yeah.
During the pandemic, because you know,
then everything shot up.
Oh my God, yes.
The cost of wood,
yes,
labor, everything.
Oh my God.
At least you get people to show up to build the house.
Sure. But now we've got to put a lawn in, and we got to put a deck in and all that, and it's almost as expensive as putting a house in.
Right, yeah.
It's unbelievable.
You do the lawn if you can. You try to do the lawn yourself.
You know, we're afraid to do that, especially me. I'm afraid to do it because I know my dad tried to do that back in the 70s and it didn't go too well. And my dad was a great handyman.
Yeah.
Which he didn't pass any of those traits out onto me. So me to do that, Bill, I just, I'm bankrupt when it comes to that. Doing handy. I don't know
Can
why.
You dig a hole and plant a tree?
Maybe.
Okay.
If you dig the hole for me.
Okay.
I'll put the tree in.
Okay.
But yeah, so I've been, I was living in this townhouse and apartment for so many years, and then we decided we're going to buy a condo, and then we decided to build this house, and the work is still ahead. Because I used to laugh at all the people in my neighborhood. Because I live in an apartment in a townhouse, and I drive by all these people in their yards working, cutting grass every day, and I tell my kids, "Yep, Dad doesn't have to do that anymore.
Right?
He just goes right to the golf course."
Yeah.
Well.
Now you got to do it.
Now I'm back at it again.
Yeah.
Any tips, Bill?
Now, well,
as a homeowner,
how big is the yard?
Oh, it's a big backyard. It's kind of like your.
Are you like
yard.
Sitting on an acre? Or,
yes.
Oh yeah. Oh, well then get a rider.
Yeah.
Get a riding mower.
Oh yeah. But the good thing about putting a lawn in, I won't have to cut for a while.
No, you just water the hell out of it.
But we're taking all these bids for the lawn, and man, a few $5,000-$6,000. That's
right.
Like, man.
Yeah. It's not cheap. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. If you can get. It's a pain, but if you can get, and now you're putting sod down.
Yes.
Okay. So if you can get them to bring the sod to you, then you can roll it and lay it and all that yourself without having landscapers to do it. I mean, it's a lot of work. It's backbreaking work. If you're looking for a good workout, it's something to do. But
oh man, I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can take that doing that anymore. No. We're gonna have somebody do it.
I picture you a lot like Cousin Eddie out there with a hose. Just spraying the lawn down, watering the lawn.
I'm gonna plant the lawn, and sunflowers are gonna come up, and weeds and corn stalks, and I don't know where it came from. So I don't want that. I don't want that to happen. I want it done right. So if I'm gonna have it done right, somebody's gonna have to do it for me.
Oh crap. So opening day. Let me ask you this. First and foremost, seem a little weird today because of the lockout, because of the ramped up season, because of the fact that they've already played 6 games. Just a little less oomph today.
Well,
I'm so excited. Don't get me wrong, but there's a little different feel today.
For it to be like 33 degrees outside. And on the morning show on WIBA this morning, I looked up. Coldest home opener was 1994 when it was 31. That was at the Old County Stadium,
right,
which you were at. So today it's going to rival that, but thank goodness we're going to be inside. It does feel like opening day to me, except for the cold. I haven't even thought about the lockout. I mean, I have not thought about the lockout. I've been watching all these games. I hope the bats get going sooner rather than later. Got going in the 9th inning a little bit last night, but yeah, I mean, I'm ready for opening day. I am. I'm going to be at a few games this weekend, and I enjoy covering the team. The Brewers are always have always been my favorite sports team in Wisconsin. I've gone to every opening day since 1976, but I missed 2020 because of the COVID. I did not go to the when the season started mid-July. So I've either covered or attended every as a fan every opening day, but I've covered every opening day since 1981 now. Yeah.
It's weird because this is going to be the first year, no restrictions. Media's back in the press box. Nobody's, donning masks or anything like that.
Well, to go in the locker room, we have to.
In the locker room, which,
Well, here's the deal. You saw where John Smoltz lost his job with MLB Network because he refused to get the COVID shot. And a few other guys, Paul O'Neill has refused to get the COVID shot, and he's doing work from home. So you can get into the broadcast booth without the COVID shot or the booster, but you can't get in the locker room, and you can't get the press conferences. So I had to go get the booster.
Yeah.
And I got the booster on Monday, and I just been dragging all week trying to recover for it. I mean, I don't think I've had COVID yet, but I've had the effects of having these 3 COVID shots along the way. And I'm telling you, it's not one, and people can relate to it. Have you had the shot?
Yeah.
Okay.
I had to.
Have you had any effects of it?
Not really, but I've had COVID. So I did end up having it, but you had to have it to attend Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So I've never been against anybody that wants to wear a mask. I've never been, look, if you do your own thing. And I get it. I just find the whole thing, and without getting too deep into the weeds on that, I just find kind of things hypocrisy wise, I mean, you can run around with other teams and high five, and you can do autograph signings and do selfies with fans. But then you go to the locker room where everybody, it's mandated, you're vaccinated, you're boosted, the whole thing.
Sure.
And then you're back into the mask. It's just a little weird. It's almost like you're trying. What are you doing seriously? You know what I mean?
Well, look at Roy Williams at the Final Four.
Yeah.
You know, or in the NCAA tournament, wearing a mask in the stands. So game ends, he's out on the court, and suddenly COVID's over.
Right.
And
right.
he's got the mask
yeah,
off.
Exactly. It's. I mean, I get it. I understand. You know, people want to take. You know, certain leagues want to take precautions, but I always, you know, I don't know. I find some things relatively Hippocratic, or hypocrisy, so to speak. But the bottom line is the team finally got a win. They're back to 500. Corbin Burns looked really, really good. And then, Brandon Woodruff today, you got to get him off the schneid. Big time.
Yeah, he had a rough outing Saturday in Chicago. And, you know, Williams has not pitched. You know, he got a jam 2 nights ago. Last night, struggled. Gave up a 2-run lead in the 8th inning. So Williams is not pitching very well out of the pen. I'm sure he's not going to be used today. Give him a day off. Threw a lot of pitches last night. Woody, he didn't pitch very well at all the other night. The other afternoon in Chicago.
Yeah,
we'll see what he's got. You know, Wainwright's going to always be tough for the Cardinals. You know, St. Louis, there's not a lot of high expectations there, but, you know, St. Louis is always going to be St. Louis. They're always going to kind of hang around.
I think most people feel the Brewers are going to win the division. St. Louis is going to be 3-4 games in that area, close to the Brewers and everybody else.
Yeah, Cincinnati's not that good, even though they got a couple of early wins. Pittsburgh's terrible. They got to win a couple of wins, I believe, underneath their belt. And St. Louis, I mean, it's not bad. It's a bad division. You know, there's nobody who's really going to challenge the Brewers, I think, in this. The Brewers are the best team. The one thing that bothers me is what we saw happen in the postseason last year is, you know, the bats. Are they going to go dry at the wrong time?
Right.
And they went dry against the Braves last year.
But we've seen that. You know, traditionally,
like
you go back
history,
go back even to that Dodger series a few years back.
Yep.
You know, the only one that hit was Orlando Arcia.
Yeah.
That was it. Everybody else, again, your big hitters, your big bats, everybody just went dry.
Yeah. I remember that extra inning game. They just could not push a runner across. And I think that was
Washington, too.
Game 4. Washington.
The Washington game.
The wild card game in 2019, Bill. I was out there covering that. And they could not push a run across. I mean, they got an early lead and a couple of home runs, but they couldn't build on it. And like last night, they got an early lead build. They were up 2-0 early on, and it came back to bite them because you had to have Burns pitch his rear end off through 7 innings. Williams gave up the lead in the 8th, and then you battled back and you scored those 2 in the 9th inning, and Hader closed it out. But there's some talent on that offense. I don't know why they're struggling. And I know we're going to probably get the Christian Yelich, but my goodness.
Yep. Let's do this. We're going to step away, take a quick break. We are broadcasting live. A longtime friend, Chuck Freeman, is down here with us. We are broadcasting live. We're at STENY'S, 2nd and National in Walker's Point. If you want to come downtown, and you can take the shuttle from here to the game, and then the shuttle picks you up, brings you back to STENY'S. They run them all afternoon. So no worry about if you miss one. You got another one coming along in just a little bit. So stop in to STENY'S. We are brought to you by our friends at Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the Bill Michaels Sports Talk Network. Stay tuned. We got more coming up right after this.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket. This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Welcome back to the program. We are glad to have you. Thanks so much, as always, for taking a listen to us. And to those of you watching, we got our Bud Lights. We're good to go. I'm Bill Michaels, Chuck Freeman alongside. And it's good. It's opening day. It's exciting. It's always a great time of year. And it's always a lot of fun and good to kind of, think about the optimism of baseball, the summer that should be. Although the weather is somewhat craptastic, that's for sure. The weather today, 44 degrees tops, but winds upwards of 40 to 50 miles an hour. So if you think you're going to head down and do a little tailgating, it's not going to be easy. But nevertheless, it is what it is. So anyway, long story short, Chuck Freeman alongside. I'm Bill Michaels. Glad to have you. So we were talking about opening days. God, is there one that stands out?
Yes, 1980, Bill. I was thinking of on the way here. I grew up in Greendale, south side of Milwaukee, and when I was a kid, my dad would write it, or my mom would do it. My dad would tell my mom to do it. A handwritten note for opening day.
Yeah.
To school, and it would either be like a dentist appointment, a funeral, a doctor's appointment, something every year from 1976 through 1980, 81. And my dad would pick me up at school at about 10:30, and we'd drive through the neighborhood and all the way to County Stadium for opening day. And my dad would always tell me, like, we get to a stop sign, stop and go lights. And he'd tell me to duck down just so nobody would see us. And my parents, because he didn't want to get truancy or anything like that. He didn't want to get arrested, which was a thing back then, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So went to opening day, 1976, my very first opening day. The Brewers beat the New York Yankees with Catfish Hunter on the mound. Jim Slate was on in 1976, 5-0. Brewers went on to lose like 90-some-odd games this year, and that was Henry Aaron's final opening day and final season in general. But 1976, it was his final year with the Brewers, his first of 2 years that he finished up his career with the Brewers. But the game I remember is 1980. They won on a walk-off grand slam by Sixto Lezcano. The highlight is on YouTube. Euchre had the call. Mm-hmm. They beat the Boston Red Sox. And on Sixto's grand slam at the bottom of the ninth inning, I was 13 years old, It was cold outside, not as cold as it is today, but it was one that I'll never forget. And it was Brewers were just starting in 1978. They started winning for the first time. In 79, they won more games. They won 95 games. In 80, they won again, but there was no playoff expansion back then. You know, you had to win the American League East to go to the postseason. The Brewers had really good teams, but they'd always finish behind the Yankees or the Red Sox or the Orioles. And the Brewers had a really good team in 1980, and Sixto hit that grand slam, and County Stadium, probably one of the biggest highlights in Brewer history at County Stadium, was when Sixto hit that opening day grand slam.
Yeah.
And if you saw it, it was opposite field, right field, and Sixto was just a Brewer legend, had a terrific arm in right field, fan favorite. But that's that game stands out as the best opening day for me that I can roll.
99 was brutally cold. It was my first year in Wisconsin. I remember doing the live remote back then you had to run the satellite van.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you had to have a satellite up. So we ran the satellite van. And you ended up, kind of sitting in the side of the van. That was where the old entrance was around County Stadium.
Okay.
And it was cold as hell. I mean, just brutally cold. And then the year after, which was supposed to be the opener at Miller Park, but because Big Blue collapsed, it was another opening day.
That's right.
So then it was the last time around again, part 2 for County Stadium. And then it was Fernando Vina. As we were sitting around Fernando Vina doing a post-game press conference, the pipe from the toilets above broke in the locker room, and it dumped crap.
I remember that.
Crap all over the place. Yeah.
And it was a signal that the time was coming to an end.
This is it.
Yeah.
It's got to happen.
Yes.
Crap was everywhere.
I remember that.
Yeah. And then after that, obviously, opening day 2001, when Miller Park opened, we were there on hand. And I remember and this was back in the day when you could run around. You know, there wasn't security everywhere, and it was kind of a family business, and everybody knew everybody, you know, and terrorism wasn't the thing then.
Seelig still owned the team.
Correct.
Yep.
Seelig still owned the team. And we were up in Bernie's chalet. We were down below in the dugouts. We were on the field. You know, we were all over the place. And just getting a great sense of the park, taking regular pictures because you were just starting to get pictures on your phone at the time. And I remember that. And then I was asked, because I was working for the flagship at the time, they said, hey, we want you to come over, but you got to go. Because I had gone through the Secret Service to get cleared. And then to meet President Bush, who was throwing out the first pitch, and then watching him get dressed and put the vest on, the Kevlar vest on underneath the Brewers jersey.
Okay.
And how hard it was for him. He's trying to throw down below.
Well, you were that close, huh?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We got a chance to meet him. We got a chance to go over and shake a hand and everything. It was really, really cool. So, because I've never met a sitting president before. And so that was kind of cool. So that was a cool opening day.
That was a Friday. That was a night game, though, right?
Yeah.
That was a Friday night.
Yeah.
That was the last time they had a night opening day.
Yeah.
Or the only time in Brewer history.
We were there all day.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, because I did the morning show there.
Oh, geez.
So I got there at like 4:30 in the morning.
Okay.
And my cousin had come to town and some friends of his. And so they came with me. And we just sat in the stands, literally just sat in the stands and sat in the suites. And then, you know, Euchre got there later that afternoon. We did some one-on-one stuff with him. And then, but yeah, it was rather interesting. And he knew Bush because President Bush was part with the Rangers at the time. He did a lot of stuff with the Texas Rangers. So Bob knew him from years gone by.
Sure.
So him and Bob were like old buddies, you know.
And Bob's former broadcast partner, Merle Harmon, was also a Ranger broadcaster.
Right.
For several years.
Yeah,
and he was Merle and Bob were an iconic team with the Brewers back in the 70s.
So it was fun. The opening of Miller Park was really cool. And then obviously we've done so many, you know, after that, doing the shows out at Health Fair Field. And, you know, I was not here, though, for the heyday of, say, County Stadium when all the bars used to get together and buy semis, and you'd have the Budweiser trucks and the Miller trucks and everything sitting out in the actual parking lots and all that stuff. And you get a lot of the stories about the heyday of what it used to be as far as the drinking drowns and opening. Opening day it's kind of like New Year's Eve. It's what they call the amateur day. Everybody wants to come out for the event. And then after that, the next game, everything settles down.
I like opening day, but in some facets, I hate opening day.
Yeah.
For what you're talking about right there, Bill.
Right.
And you know that. It's it's in some ways it is amateur hour, even for the media.
Right.
It's
yeah, because it's not the people that cover the game. It's the morning news shows and all these people that aren't normally there that are there. And they're all trying to run around and get stories. And, you just want to get into your groove, man. Get into your seeing players, seeing the guys, that type of thing. So, I completely get it. We got 1 hour down. We got 3 more to go. We're going to have Kevin Holden from CBS 58 is going to be joining us coming up here in a little while. Chuck Freeman is on site with us as well for a while. We're going to be talking with Andrew Wagner. We're going to be talking with Jim Ozarski, some Bucks basketball. That is coming up a little bit later on in the program as well. It is Brewers opening day. We are broadcasting live. We are at STENY'S, 2nd and National Walker's Point. They're going to run shuttles out of here later today. So if you want to come on down, get yourself some lunch, enjoy yourself like we are doing right now, which is enjoying the award-winning Bloody Mary. They've won so many competitions with this thing, it isn't even funny. But come on down, enjoy yourself, get yourself something to eat as the doors are now open. People are starting to filter in. Come on by, say hello. Here until 2 o'clock, and then we're going to send you on down to American Family Field and get you ready for the Brewers and the Cardinals at 4:14. First pitch today on many of those networks all throughout the great state of Wisconsin and beyond the borders. Stay tuned. We got a lot more. The Bill Michaels Show. It's coming up right after this.
This is a Wisconsin Sports Zone update.
Last night, Brewers ace Corbin Burns would go 7 innings of work, striking out 8 batters and issuing just 1 walk. When he left the bump, the Brewers were owning a 2-0 lead heading into the 8th. Then there was some late-game dramatics as Colton Wong would drive in what proved to be the winning run in the top of the 9th to help the Brewers beat the Orioles 4-2. Here's more from manager Craig Counsell.
We need to score a couple more runs. We're making it pretty challenging on our pitching staff a little right now. So to get those runs in the 9th was needed for sure, not for just for tonight, but put together a nice rally against a good pitcher. So it was good to come out of here after a great starting performance by Corbin and still get a win.
Tonight we'll see Brandon Woodruff take the mound in Milwaukee for their home opener against their rival, the St. Louis Cardinals. First pitch is at 4:14. To the NBA, the Milwaukee Bucks official playoff schedule is out. Game 1 against the Chicago Bulls takes place Sunday at the Pfizer Forum. Tip-off is at 5:30 on TNT. Wednesday on 4:20 is game number 2. Game 3 that Friday. Then game 4 will be next Sunday.
Keeping Wisconsin strong.
As a proud sponsor of the WIAA, they care about your community like you do. They believe the communities that support their athletes are the true champions. Visit ruralmutual.com/WIAA to learn how they support high school athletics.
Rural Mutual Insurance, keeping Wisconsin strong.
Wisconsin football has their 11th out of 15 spring practice today as they prepare for their season. It begins September 3rd against Illinois State at Camp Randall. And finally, the 2022 AmFam Championships will take place June 10th to the 12th as Steve Stricker will host and compete at University Ridge Golf Course. For the Wisconsin Sports Zone Network, I'm Ebo.
Welcome one, welcome all. We are glad you're with us. We are broadcasting live. We're at STENY'S, 2nd and National Walker's Point. That's where you can find us in Milwaukee as we're getting you ready for opening day 2022. The Brewers, the Cardinals, American Family Field. Great. Fun day. Serious day. When you talk about running the shuttles out of STENY'S, this is what you do. You come down here, you find a place to park, which right now parking is aplenty. Come on down, park. You come on in, you get one of the award-winning Bloody Marys, start your day off right, like we did. We got ourselves one of the draft of the Bud Lights, and so we have it. And then you order some wings, like Chucker just did, Then we throw in some of the Bill Michaels garlic cheese bread. Enjoy your day. You relax a little bit. And then as time winds down, the shuttles are going to start running probably at about between noon and 1 o'clock, I would assume. And they're going to start taking people down to the ballpark. The gates open 2 hours ahead of time. And you go on in. You don't have to worry about paying to park. You don't have to worry about the hassle of getting through traffic. They do all that for you. And then you go to the game, you enjoy yourself, you jump on the shuttle, you come back here after a few waters or what have you, and then you grab your car and you head on home. That's the way to do it. It's a fantastic day, easy day, and you get to come down and enjoy the program as well. So anyway, there you have it. Say hi to Dave. He says, Mardine and I are listening to you in Vegas, wondering if Ernie made it down. Dave, not that I know of. I have not seen Ernie down here yet.
Who's Ernie, Bill?
Ernie, our buddy Ernie from Viroqua.
Oh, Ernie Betts?
Ernie Betts.
I was going to say Ernie Betts, but I'm like,
yeah, Ernie from Viroqua. They are asking if he made it. Ernie called me. He texted me and said he was going to try to make it down.
Mm-hmm.
And then I did some stuff with him on his show earlier this week, and we talked a little bit, and he said he was going to try to make it down.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have not seen him as of yet.
Are we live on 105.1 in Eau Claire right now?
We are.
Okay. I was in Eau Claire this past weekend. Eau Claire is like my second home.
Right.
I love Eau Claire. God, I went to college there, and I worked there, and that town has such evolved. It's amazing. Bill, it is amazing. Not only got great golf up there, which I love to do when we go there. Mm-hmm. We're going back in the summertime. Oh, we stay at the beautiful Lismore Hotel downtown, and the restaurants there, the area by the mall, the Oakwood Mall, is just incredible. I love Eau Claire, man. That is a thriving community. I marvel every time I go to Eau Claire and to see just how great that city is.
I love going to Eau Claire, and Eau Claire has Wild Ridge golf course,
which is an awesome course.
Which is great.
Our buddy there left.
Yeah, I know. He ended up becoming the golf pro at the golf course for the University of Illinois. Yeah. So he's down there. So, but I love going to Eau Claire. I love taking my bike. I take my pedal bike and I go up to the Old Abe Trail in Chippewa Falls.
Okay.
So I take a 15-minute drive up north and I go to the Old Abe Trail. I ride around there, or they have a trail that runs down by the river. And so I'll take that too, down by the downtown area. So, but I love Eau Claire. It's a great, that and La Crosse, two great cities.
Oh yeah.
That I love getting to.
I mean, Western Wisconsin. I mean, there was a beautiful day Saturday. Walked across the bridge at UW Eau Claire, walked around by Water Street down there, and stayed downtown. There's a record store downtown Eau Claire. It's amazing. It's wonderful. I mean, just the revitalization of that town that I've seen.
Ernie Betts is listening. He is on his way.
Oh, he is. I've never met him.
Ernie Betts is on his way. Yeah.
Ernie, he's been on my Football Friday Night show. This was years ago because he covered the high school beat up there, and the statewide show I have done that Ernie called and reports to.
Yeah.
Is he still at the same station?
He's still at the same station. Yeah. Wow. That station would close if Ernie left. Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
That would be it. I love going to Viroqua. I get up there usually in the wintertime, but we did a football show there. Kristen and I went up, and we ended up at Kickapoo Creekside, which is a restaurant in that area.
Oh, I think I saw the pictures.
And we went there where she ran into people from Rhode Island.
Okay.
Because that's where she's from. She ran into people from Rhode Island at Kickapoo Creekside who worked there.
All right.
And remembered her dad's restaurant from Rhode Island.
Wow, that's amazing.
It's just like,
Rhode Island's the smallest state.
Right. The smallest state in the union, and then go to a Kickapoo Creekside to meet people from there. So anyway, but we love going up there. And then after that, we ended up going out to Prairie du Chien.
Yep.
And Jim's Bar out there.
Okay.
And had a great time and just saw a lot of it. So I want to go back in the summer because I want to take the motorcycle because it's beautiful riding out there. The roads and the scenes out there are fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, you get up to the west. I mean, we have an awesome state to begin with, but I mean, you go out to western Wisconsin, go up the Mississippi, down the Mississippi, and the La Crosse, the Eau Claire area, the Cooley region. That's just some fantastic area.
Yeah.
Some fantastic area.
And good golf out that way, too.
Well, yeah. Oh, yeah. And we mentioned Wild Ridge. There's other good golf courses. There's one right on the Mississippi River. I can't remember the name of it right now, but that I have not played yet, but I've driven by many times. But, yeah. So, you and I haven't golfed.
We haven't golfed in a while. We'll get out this year for sure.
We used to golf and golf outings together and all that. We haven't done that in years.
We got some of that stuff coming up this year. We'll do more of that. And I got one here from Mark who said, what about Rice Lake? I will be back in Rice Lake this year for sure at Turtleback, which is another great golf course. You ever golf Turtleback?
No.
You got to go check Turtleback out.
No, I played in a celebrity basketball game in Rice Lake in 1992. But, the nearby in Turtle Lake, there's going to be a sports book. The second sports book is opening up, I believe, tomorrow in Turtle Lake, St. Croix Casino. There's one in Green Bay at a night up, and the second one of all places, Turtle Lake, which is not too far from Rice Lake. Yeah, if you believe that.
Turtle Lake. How about that? It was wasn't it? Who was it that? Who was the singer that said he swam across Turtle Creek?
Oh, I don't remember, but I remember the yes. Merle Haggard?
No, it was "Man, the Snappers Are All Around My Feet," and it was the song "My Ding-a-Ling."
Oh, Chuck Berry.
Chuck Berry.
Okay.
Yeah, Chuck Berry. Now that I think about it, Chuck Berry is one to sing that. Hey, so I want to get back to Brewers chatter at least a little bit anyway. Do you like the moves they made this offseason? It was a weird offseason. They bring in McCutchen, kind of at the now I know Mark Atanasio had said that there were some other names that they were looking at. The one they landed was McCutchen. Do you like the McCutchen deal?
At first I didn't. I mean, I just looked at it. When I say I didn't, I looked at it and say, okay, we always seem to get these guys with their past their prime. I mean, you look at the contract, 1 year, $8.5 million. So you wouldn't have got that, a few years ago when McCutchen was one of the best players in the league. But I'm watching his at bats, man. He's still got some good bat speed.
Right.
He's still turning on pitches.
Yep.
So, and he's had some big hits. 2 nights ago, he had the 2-run double in the first, and then the go-ahead single in the 7th inning. So he can still play. I mean, that leadoff spot, I like it. I at first I was like, but so far these three, he's got to stay healthy through the first week of the season. So far, so good.
I liked when he got hit down in Chicago. I liked the way he talked about it after the fact as to why. And he said, well, maybe I'm old school and some of the guys over there in that clubhouse should know this. Mm-hmm. But you get an opportunity, to hit me, and then you missed it.
Mm-hmm.
But why are you pitching me low and away, and why are you going through a regular at-bat? He said, this is how I got hurt last time, and I got busted ribs because of it.
Sure.
He said, I knew I was going to get plunked. I respect that. It was the way he laid it out, and he's like, look, you want to do this? We accept this. Mm-hmm. But this is what you did, and this is why it was wrong. And was real outspoken about it. And I thought, we haven't heard leadership like that. You know what I mean? In a clubhouse in a long time. Ryan Braun had a certain swagger to him, and it was kind of him and Yelich, and it was kind of some leadership there. But we haven't heard a leader like that in that. I love the fact that not maybe necessarily what he brings to the field, but maybe what he brings in leadership to the clubhouse as far as being, one, an MVP, and two, being a guy that has been around the game and can be articulate and spoken to a lot of the younger guys and kind of how the game is played.
Yeah, I think Locaine kind of gets that attention as well. He's toward the end of his career here. They've really they've lacked that kind of guy. And he does bring that. He's been around. He's played on bad teams. He's played on good teams. And he's been to the postseason before. He's come up in big moments before. So, and he's that clubhouse guy. I mean, what about you? Do you read big into a guy when you hear good clubhouse guy? This guy, how much do you read into that?
I read into a good clubhouse guy as he includes everybody. He can get along with everybody. Mm-hmm. He's the guy that can kind of be, I mean, when you got a guy, even if it's a guy in your building and you go about your business and they go about their business and everybody's in different parts of the building, there's a guy that kind of walks around and includes everybody. Mm-hmm. And that's a good clubhouse guy to me. The guy that's the rah-rah guy, look, in baseball, that doesn't mean crap, because you're only as good as your next day starting pitcher. But getting everybody on the same page. Remember years ago, there were cliques.
Yeah.
There was a lot of guys didn't speak English real well inside that clubhouse. They were on one side. There was a lot of guys who spoke English real well on the other. Mm-hmm. It was really segregated. There was even racial segregation. It's not that it was this negative context. It's just guys that were alike hung together.
Sure. And
guys that weren't didn't. And then it started to break up, and you got some guys in that clubhouse that started all hang together. It didn't matter who you were included on everything. And then it became more of a camaraderie type of thing. That to me is what a good clubhouse is. It's not having cliques.
Yeah, Rowdy Tellez talked about that a few weeks ago down at spring training. He said, he liked the fact that guys would get together on a Saturday afternoon at a night game, on the road and watch college football or do something, just whatever. Guys just getting together, and going down to a restaurant and watching some college football before a game or whatever. He said that it's different from other organizations. So, I guess there's, I don't know, there's an amount of wins or losses. Who knows? But, I always go back to the New York Yankees. They all hated each other.
Right.
They still won World Series titles.
It was interesting because that you say that, because I remember doing an interview years ago with Sparky Anderson back when he was the manager of the Big Red Machine, and he reflected on that. And he said, look, I had rookies I had to manage. The veterans I didn't. I left it up to them to police themselves. And he talked about Bench and Rose didn't get along. Morgan was his own man. There was a lot of things in that clubhouse that didn't necessarily go together. But he said, when Rose walked through the door, when Bench walked through the door, when Griffey walked through the door, when Morgan walked through the door, and they were together, they were together. It was work time. And that's kind of what you need, even if everybody doesn't go to everybody's house on the weekends.
Sure.
If everybody gets together and they're together and one for all for one type of mentality, then yeah, it works, I think, in a clubhouse.
I think we saw a true test on how good of a manager Sparky was. Not that he needed to prove anything, but, he had the cast that you're talking about with the Reds. But then when he went to the Tigers, right, and he won there, and, he had that 84 team and then the 87 team, which, got to the playoffs and lost to the Twins. And, he's had a few playoff teams. He took a teams that he looked at, how good is this team? And he took them to postseason. He always had them in the thick of races and all that in Detroit. But Sparky, I mentioned Sparky on WIBA the other day because Robin asked me, the morning show host there, terrific host. She asked me, the Brewers are struggling right now, and I said, well, Sparky Anderson used to always say, the more games you win in April, the less you have to win in September. And it's true.
Right.
The more you win in April, the less you win in September. Now, for the 87 Brewers, it didn't work out so well, who started off the season, 16-1. And, they won a lot of games in September. It was between May and June where they lost a lot of games, and which cost them the pennant that year to the Tigers, ironically. But, you got to have a good player manager. I think, you get off to a slow start like this and you get, people automatically are, Council, it's not Council's fault.
Council's done a fantastic job.
We talked, they hired 2 hitting coaches. Everybody wants to blame the hitting coach. These guys are players.
Right.
They got to figure it out themselves. It's like Frank Vogel losing his job with the Lakers.
Let's do this. When we come back, I want to talk specifically about Yelich, because that's the conversation with hitting begins and ends with Yelich.
Sure.
It starts there. Let's do this. We're broadcasting live. We're on site. STENY'S, Second and National, Walker's Point. We got a Cirillo jersey sighting. I'm loving it. Yeah, Cirillo jersey sighting.
That's the throwback jersey, too.
Liking that. You don't get many Cirillo jerseys.
No. Those are the jerseys that came out in 2007. They're still around.
Yeah.
But,
Good stuff. So we got a Cirillo sighting already. That's awesome. Let's do this. We're going to step away, take a quick break again. Second and National, Walker's Point in Milwaukee. Come on down. You can take a shuttle over to the game. You can get yourself fed, get a few beverages in you, get a Bud Light. You can also get one of the award-winning Bloody Marys. You can get the best wings you're ever going to put in your grill. The Bill Michaels Garlic Cheese Bread down here. Come on by. STENY'S, Second and National, Walker's Point. We'll see you down here in just a little bit. Stay tuned. We got a lot more of the Bill Michaels Show live for opening day 2022. Coming up right after this.
Ready? This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Buy more, save more with a patio door.
Wait, what?
Right now, at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, the more windows you buy, the more you'll be saving by adding a patio door.
Miss Della from Pella?
Please, call me Gina.
Okay, Gina Della from Pella? Like, I was told there'd be no map.
Like, that's okay. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin makes it easy. Now through April 30th, when you buy 3 Pella windows, you'll save $500 when you add a patio door. Buy 6, save $1,000 with a patio door. Buy a dozen Pella windows, save $2,000 when you...
Add a patio door?
Correct. And along with 6 full lines of windows, traditional to contemporary, Pella of Wisconsin has financing to fit most any budget.
Awesome.
Buy more, save more with a patio door, but only through April 30th. Set your free consultation today at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. See showroom for details.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Play ball!
It is opening day 2022. We are glad you are with us. Welcome. We are broadcasting live, STENY'S, Second and National, Walker's Point. Brought to you by our friends at Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the Bill Michaels Sports Talk Network. That's what, Alabama, Ben?
Yeah, not that I knew that song before or them as a band, but
that's a good tune.
Across it.
You don't know that Alabama is a band?
No, I had heard of them, but I can't say I know them well.
Okay.
Oh, I could name a bunch of songs by Alabama.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Dixieland Delight is one of my favorites.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Randy Owen is their lead singer. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. I think they're just doing like their 50th anniversary or their farewell tour or something like that.
Yeah.
They were just in Madison. Yeah. Oh, Alabama.
Yeah, I remember Alabama from years gone by.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Late 70s, they kind of kicked it into gear.
Yeah.
Fort Payne, Alabama. They're from. Yeah.
Yep. That is their baseball song.
The Cheap Seats.
Cheap Seats. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, the Cheap Seats.
Yeah, which is a good tune.
Yeah.
Not a bad tune. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. Want to hit us up, feel free to go ahead and do so again, 877-867-1670. We're live down here at STENY'S, Second and National, Walker's Point, brought to you by our friends at Quick Trip. Don't forget the bacon wrap pork fillets. They are on sale, 5 of them for 99 cents a piece, limit 5, I should say. And for all your tailgate fare, if by chance you are tailgating over the weekend, you want to stop, because today's a windy day. Today's going to be a brutally windy day as the winds continue to kick up down here and over at American Family Field. It's going to be a windy day. So if you're going to tailgate over the weekend, stop at a Quick Trip. They've got the beer, they've got the brats, they've got the buns, they've got the condiments, everything you need for your tailgate. Stop at a Quick Trip. Make it a Quick Trip kind of day. Joining us down here on site, our longtime buddy, Chuck Freeman, and from WIBA, which is in Madison, correct?
Yes.
You
yes.
Broadcast, but you're
1310.
You're based out of Milwaukee, but you broadcast in Madison.
I do the morning sports, Madison in the morning with Sean and Robin in the morning. Two terrific co-hosts, and I just do the sports at 15:45. I'm on 97.3 The Game and 9 AM 920 from time to time, filling in when they need a substitute teacher. And and then I work for AP Radio. I cover the local teams here in our state.
Yeah.
But the bad part about us when you do these shows from STENY'S is when the food comes, because we're doing a show and the food is just like staring at me now.
So for those that are looking, this is the Bill Michaels garlic cheese bread, and I'm trying to get it up there, but it is the picture doesn't even do it justice. It is so good. And you've got
the braised beef. It's fantastic.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Yes, it is fantastic.
And we haven't even gotten to the wings yet. The wings are like substantial.
Did you order some?
I haven't ordered it yet, but we're going to.
Okay.
The wings are substantial down here.
Okay. I may never go to the game.
Big time.
You know?
It's absolutely fantastic. Mm-hmm. So got the wings that we'll order up here in a little while, and just so good.
Yeah.
So good.
Just see how he responds to the load.
Matt LaFleur. The load will be hefty today. For sure. The load will be hefty. So I wanted to ask you about Christian Yelich, because I said coming into this season, this is Christian Yelich's prove-it year. Do you feel that it has to be his prove-it year?
Boy, 2020 cut him some slack, but I think, Bill, we do is because of COVID and no legitimate spring training. All right, 2021 last year, back issues the whole season long, 9 home runs. You look at how many clutch performances he had over the years. I mean, the clutch performances he's had over the years. I mean, just amazing. The first 2-3 years, and then 2020 happened, and what happened to it? I mean, he'd come up with so many clutch hits.
Right.
Even the game, he got hurt or just before the Cubs game, a Saturday night in September. Came up with a big double in a rally. And Brewers put in that big surge in September without him because he got hurt. He hurt his knee. But yeah, I didn't see this coming. Who did?
Yeah.
I mean, I see him at the plate, and and people will say this: the Stein stealing that being tipped off the pitches, is that not happening anymore? I don't know, but man, he looks completely different. I mean, his bat angle, his approach at the plate. You used to feel when he came up to the plate, man, something's going to happen.
He knew what was going on.
This is a big moment, Bill. This is, he's going to do something here. Man, I don't feel that way anymore. It's like weak tappers, the second base.
Yeah. Yeah. It's what's most concerning to me is the power. Mm-hmm. It is the lack of power. It's I'd said a couple of years ago, when just before COVID hit, we were out at spring training right before he signed the deal.
Mm-hmm.
And we had heard that it was coming, so we were on site, we're doing the show, and I was watching him take batting practice, and I was on the phone with a friend of mine. I said, he just doesn't look right. He doesn't look the same. He doesn't have, because he used to put on a power display.
Sure.
When it came to a batting practice, and he wasn't doing that. It was just a lot of ground balls or pop flies. And I said, he doesn't look right. Okay, maybe it was coming back from the knee. And it's just like since then, he has not had that smooth, quick bat pop that he had 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And I don't know what happened to it.
The way the postseason ended against the Braves last year, that week at bat to finish things out, and you're thinking, okay.
It was like that was the epitome of what
it was.
And he had about the second week of July into the first week of August where he really started to hit the ball, and everybody was like, see you, we're worrying for nothing. And I said, well, 2-3 weeks does not a season make. So let's wait and see what happens. But it's encouraging.
Mm-hmm.
And then he went right back. All of a sudden it was just over. It was remember that bunt that he laid down a bunt, They were shading him. They were playing the shift. He laid down a bunt the opposite way. Got on, ended up scoring a run, and it seemed to ignite him. And everybody said, well, this is it. Here we go. And he hit a couple of home runs in that 3-week period. You thought, okay, maybe he's back. And then it just went away.
The other night I heard Council talking about, Christian's, now we got Christian swinging on a hot bat. And I don't really check batting averages this late in the year. I checked his average the next morning just to see what, just for when Yelich just hit 294. That's good.
Right.
I always go on batting average, once the season gets going here, but even 294, we got Yelich going. That's only he's not hitting 460.
Right.
Through a week of season.
But it wasn't like he was hitting 450 and 2 home runs.
Yeah. I mean, the power. Yeah. They can't have that. I mean, I'd be lying to Bill if I said I wasn't worried that being a bad contract.
Right.
Because they can't, the Brewers, the Yankees could sign someone like Yelich, or they could sign someone like Stanton and, maybe not get top-notch production, but they could eat a contract like that.
Right. He's got a couple of doubles, no home runs, obviously hitting 263 and on-base percentage, 423, which is good because at least he's got an eye. But the OPS, 791, not where you want it to be right now. But he's only, 19, 20 at-bats into the season. Yeah.
I mean, so I'm not going to tear him apart yet, but it's just, the early returns aren't great with, with the election so far. But I think, got to give him some time. But if this doesn't work out, the Brewers cannot. I mean, if they sign someone like that, they need a Hall of Fame type career out of a guy.
Does he become Suppan? The offensive version of Jeff Suppan?
Yeah, well, this is worse, though. Because Suppan, you only had, 5 years,
right?
$40 million or whatever it was?
Right.
This is $200 million,
Yeah.
That's a piece of the franchise.
And the other thing was, at the time, remember, when he signed, we went, what an incredible deal.
Yeah,
he gave them a bargain basement price. And then there was always the pessimist saying, well, that's because he's coming off the juice and he knows he's got to sign now. And I kind of went, come on. It's back-to-back years. He's put up some good numbers down in Miami. This is – and then the kneecap. Now, you can blame it on the kneecap, bad habits, whatever you want to talk about. But, what I'm most concerned with is the power is not there.
Yeah. Do you think the other teams, Bill, who had their eyes on maybe signing him before the Brewers did, are looking at that and saying, whew.
Thank God we didn't. There, but for the grace of God. I know that just the other day, and I can't remember who it was. It might have been Chris Sale was talking about the Astros and when they won the championship and then the sign stealing and such. And one of the things that came up was, look, guys, they weren't the only ones stealing signs. There was more than a few clubs that we knew that were stealing signs, both American League and National League. And he didn't get specific, but he just said, hey, I don't know why we're still talking about it, but there was other teams. The Brewers were always a team that was labeled as stealing in some way, shape, or form. But did anybody ever say this is what they're doing and how they're doing it?
With the Astros?
No. Wait, I mean, the Astros were banging on a garbage can.
Yeah.
But how are the Brewers doing it?
I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know how the Brewers were doing it.
Never was proven.
It never came up.
No. That's why I see all these accusations on, watch when Yelich has a bad back. Put Yelich in Twitter. And it's like, that's the first thing people are going to.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. Whatever it is, he's not producing. And he's got to produce.
Well, the other thing is roids. Everybody talks about it, but nobody wants to bring it up. Christian's a good guy. You don't see him getting bulky. You don't see, but it's not, and I'm not accusing him of that. What I say is there was such a stigma in baseball that if you were a producing player and suddenly it went by the wayside, you were off the roids.
Yeah, but they're testing though.
Right.
So he would have been caught.
Correct. Yeah. I agree with that. But baseball has got such a black eye for that anybody that had a great season or two and then doesn't anymore, they came off the juice.
Yeah.
It's just the perception becoming reality for a lot of baseball fans. So whether it was sign stealing or the roids or anything else, that's what people want to point their finger at, rather than just a guy that got hit in the kneecap, broke the kneecap, wasn't able to keep swinging a hot bat, got into maybe some bad habits, and has not been able to figure a way to get out of it.
Who do you think, when they do the introductions player by player today, now Yelich the last couple of years has got the biggest ovation. Does he get it today? When they introduce each player from the trainers on through the star players.
I got to think Corbin Burns.
Think so?
Because Corbin Burns not only did he pitch great yesterday, but the Cy Young Award winner from last year, I got to think Corbin Burns would. Wouldn't you think?
Boy, you would think they're going to do it. They're going to honor him today.
Yeah.
I mean, a Cy Young. Wow. And he pitched great last night,
yes,
too.
he did.
He was on. I think Woodruff is a fantastic pitcher, too, despite what happened and a real likable guy, too.
Yeah.
Woodruff. Both those guys are.
So,
I think if the pitching is going to be good. Pitching, Boxberger and, you got Williams and you got, of course, Josh Hader.
Yeah.
And that starting pitching, it's going to hold up. You just got to be able to score some more runs, more than 2 a game.
Let's do this. We're going to step away, take a quick break, talking some baseball. It is opening day, 2022. We are broadcasting live down at STENY'S, 2nd and National, Walker's Point. If you want to come by and say hi, do it. Otherwise, grab some of the Bill Michaels garlic cheese bread, the award-winning Bloody Marys, some of the most incredible wings you're ever going to put in your grill. And the food down here is fantastic. And I just saw the shuttle circle around the block, so the shuttle is going to be here shortly. And they're going to be taking people over to American Family Field. It's a great way to go see the game, not have to drive, not have to fight the traffic. Then you come on back here, you pick your car up, and you head on home after hopefully a Brewers win. Brandon Woodruff on the hill today for the Milwaukee Brewers. Stay tuned. We got more of the Bill Michaels Show live at STENY'S on this opening day coming up right after this.
This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Your summer could be $100,000 sweeter with the Quick Trip 250 $100,000 winner's circle. Race down to Quick Trip and purchase any Oreo cookie, Oreo cakester, or king size Reese's with your Quick Rewards, and you could be one of 5 weekly winners and be entered for a chance at the grand prize of $100,000. Celebrate a victory lap with $100,000 with the Quick Trip 250 $100,000 winner's circle.
Bill Michaels will resume in 5 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 4 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Welcome back to the program. We are broadcasting live. We're at STENY'S, second and national. We're at Walker's Point and getting you ready for opening day 2022. We are glad you are with us, and thanks for taking a listen to us today. We certainly appreciate it. They're going to run shuttles out of here coming up a little bit later on today, but if you want to come by, come on in. This place will fill up. Brewers fans are going to be coming by, getting some beverages. You're going to get some food, and then you get on the shuttle. You go to the game. You come back here. You pick your car up, and you head on home. And we are brought to you by our friends at Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the Bill Michaels Sports Talk Network, as the bar continues to slowly begin to fill. But in the meantime, our guys are here on site. Chuck is behind us now eating. So we've got Kevin Holden, CBS 58 here, Andrew Wagner from the State Journal and Forbes.com and such is here. Where are you now? Forbes.com? Is it those mics, man.
Yeah, there we go.
There
We're
we
fancy. Go. No, I'm with Forbes.
Forbes.
With Forbes
I just got to make sure I give you the right credit.
It's all good.
Okay, just to make sure.
You know,
okay.
I'll go with anything.
You've got any kind of a label. It doesn't matter. That's good. And then there's Kevin Holden here from CBS 58. How you been, man? You're back from the Final Four. We were just talking about that.
Yeah, talk about a crazy atmosphere. I mean, college basketball, the tournament's crazy, but doing that in a 70,000 seat stadium, and I don't know if you guys know, but apparently there's a nightlife in New Orleans. They do things late at night there.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you ever hear my New Orleans story? Do you want to hear the best New Orleans story ever?
Can you tell it on the radio?
I'll tell it on the radio.
Wow.
I'll tell it on the radio. The best New Orleans nightlife story ever. I was down there for a day. We were going to cruise out of there on a Sunday. So we went down, flew down Saturday morning early. We got down there about 9 in the morning, checked into our hotel, and we were taking a fan cruise. So it was myself, a bunch of friends, and listeners. And there's about 160 people. So we all gathered in the lobby, I think of a Holiday Inn right down there near Bourbon Street. And we just said, okay, we're going to walk. And then we're all going to run into each other. And then we picked a bar. I can't remember the name of the bar, whatever it was. And we were all going to meet back at this bar. And we'll all have a drink together. And then we're going to sail out 7 a.m. the next morning on on the Norwegian cruise ship we were taking. I started out at Pat O'Brien's. Got hammered. I mean,
it'll
hammered.
Do it.
Like, had no idea my own name, right? Walking up and down Bourbon Street. They said, Bill, we got to get food in you. So a group of us went over to Bubba Gump's, where they had the buckets of shrimp. Endless buckets of shrimp, right?
Oh.
I sat there, and I ordered a bucket, and I ate it. And then I ordered another bucket, and I ate it. And then my buddy leaned over to me, as God is my witness. He says, what'd you do with all your tails? And I said, what tails? He said, Bill, they're peel and eat. I ate them all.
with the shells.
Tuesday was the worst day of my life.
I was going to say, see, you're housed. You're stuffing yourself with seafood and the tails, and then you're going on a cruise.
Then I went on the cruise.
This is teetering on George Brett levels right now.
Monday was a gurgler. Tuesday was I stress tested the plumbing system on that ship. And that if you've ever been on a cruise, you know what I'm talking about. When you push the button, you better not have anything dangling in the water. The suction will just pull you right to the middle of the ship. And Tuesday was one of the worst days of my life.
Who's pitching in this game?
That was that was one of the worst days of my life. I'll never forget it.
Oh, that's fantastic.
True story.
Milwaukee.
Hey, true story. My buddy Rick Pomeroy, who listens to the Rick was with me on this cruise. Right there, he said, "True story." Look at that. Hand to God. True story. Rick was the guy that leaned over. He said to me, "He's like, where's your shells?" I'm like, "Oh, shells." He's like, "Bill, they're peeling." He's like, "Oh my God." Oh my
You're
God.
just popping them like they're popcorn
God.
shrimp.
It was the little popcorn shrimp.
Yeah.
I'm just eating them. They had this seasoning. They were so good. I'm like, this Papa Combs place is excellent. You know, and
man.
I needed asbestos underwear that day. It was a bad situation.
It's like me and the Doner kebab stand outside of the Oktoberfest in Munich. That was yep.
Oh boy.
Lessons learned.
Woo.
How's everyone doing? Hope everyone's enjoying their lunch.
The fact that Kevin Holden from CBS 58 comes in the program takes us right into the gutter. And you steered us right into the nightlife that is New Orleans. And so you enjoyed the Final Four, though?
Yeah, the experience is crazy because you've got 4 teams, 4 fan bases, and they're fighting for a national championship. So everybody's really into it, and it's in the cross section was really interesting because you have Duke fans, which are a whole other thing than say Villanova fans or Kansas fans. So Saturday night, North Carolina ends Coach K's career, and on Bourbon Street, there are wild Southern North Carolina folks, you know, like the accents, you know,
right.
God, we won't, you know.
Yeah.
And then Monday, Kansas wins the championship. Sorry, was that a bad?
I'll drink to that.
It's a little Boomhauer-ish.
It's like you're from Georgia, for God's sakes, and that's the best Southern accent you can come up with.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Like the waistband snapped in your underwear.
I don't want to rat out my own people in Georgia. Like I have to make the North Carolina one sound worse, right? And then Kansas wins the title Monday night, and you go back to Bourbon Street, and there's like 10 old dudes standing out in the middle of Bourbon Street, like, "Yep, won a title."
Like Hank Hill.
Yes. Kansas fans are Hank Hill.
Yeah.
No offense to the Kansas fans. There's plenty of good.
Oh, no, to hell with them. Yeah, they're not
there it is. Yeah.
The older I get, the more I appreciate Hank. Like, I get it. I start to relate. I also understand a little bit more of Dale Gribble because he's got some salient points. But yeah, I'm starting to feel my inner Hank. Like I appreciate lawn care and simplicity and the late night local news.
Propane
accessories. This is what happens. You get the 3 of us together, and here we are.
And then Chuck's just behind us, just eating. He's finishing up everything, so he'll be back too. So let's put the show back on the rails. 3-3, coming back home, taking on St. Louis. Woodruff's last outing was craptastic. We were just talking a little bit about Yelich. Where do you want to start? Whether just opening day, do you want to start with the fact that this is the team that's picked to win the division? What's been the most, we'll say, eye-opening so far this season?
Well, I think it's the fact that the lockout and the shortened spring training and the difference in routine has affected the people most affected by routine, pitchers. In other words, not that it was totally unexpected, but that it can have a massive effect. Woodruff's first outing is what I'm going back to. And I worry that you're going to see that not just with the Brewers, but across the sport, where these pitchers only had 2 or 3 weeks as opposed to 8 to get themselves together. They couldn't check in with team doctors in the offseason. I think you'll see more arm fatigue. I think relievers mean more. I mean, it'll change the game for a while, month or two.
The first month, I think, is going to be really weird for pitchers. I mean, we saw they're now where they usually would be at the start of a season, because that last start would have been usually the last start of spring training. We saw Corbin go out there for a second start yesterday, was significantly better than the first time around. And Woody, I expect the same thing. The thing is, he's always kind of been like this. He's always kind of like stumbled out of the gate and then got into a groove. It's going to be like that. I guess my biggest shock is I thought the season was over a week ago. Like I was told after they lost to the Cubs on opening day, the season was done.
Right.
So I am shocked to find out they're still playing. Like, this is news to me.
It's the 10th place tournament. That's what they're in there for.
I tell you what, there were a lot of eye rolls when David Stern signed Andrew McCutchen, and I had a hunch that this was going to be a great signing, and it's looking every bit of it. I mean, that guy, he's such a pleasure to be around, and I'm always such a dapper, happy person. Like, you listen to Andrew
when I got
McCutchen,
word you weren't sure if you were going to be here because, quote, I'm a grouchy SOB in the morning. I thought, well, there's no way we're going to see Andrew coming out here.
No, like, just you walk in the clubhouse and Kutch is there, and he's got a grin on his face, and he's very engaging, and like you look at what he said after the incident on Saturday, or it was a Saturday when he got into it with like he came out and he wasn't sitting here, calling out the Cubs. He was just explaining it matter of factly, like you and I would be having a conversation, and like that kind of veteran presence, that kind of leadership and experience, like. It's so great to have around. And then you look what he's doing on the field.
Yeah.
It's exactly what they signed him for.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier. Let's do this. We're going to step away, take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll follow up with that, talk a little bit more about Yelich as well. Stay tuned. We are broadcasting live. We're down at STENY'S, Second International Walker's Point. It is opening day 2022. Brewers taking on the Cardinals coming up a little bit later on this afternoon down at American Family Field. Come on by, say hi. Stay tuned. We got more coming up right after this.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket. This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
The Indy cars are running. Get your ticket to see them scream around the road course in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. For event information, go to roadamerica.com. That is roadamerica.com.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
We are glad to have you back. We are broadcasting live. We're at STENY'S, Second and National, Walker's Point, and we are here today. It's Brewers opening day 2022, and what better way to celebrate it than in the heart of what is considered to be like Cheers, the Cheers of Milwaukee, here at STENY'S, where they run shuttles over to the ballpark. And if you want to come down and enjoy the day with us, we are almost halfway through the program. We're going to be talking with Jim Ozarski, the Journal Sentinel, coming up here after the top of the hour about the story that he did regarding Giannis, and we'll get back into the baseball chatter as well. But joining me here at the table from CBS 58 is Kevin Holden, and also from Forbes.com is our buddy Andrew Wagner. So we were talking a little bit about, the signing of McCutchen, which I completely agree. I think it was a huge move in the sense of just a veteran presence and the leadership-wise. I want to talk a little bit for a minute. We were talking, Chuck and I, about Yelich, and this being somewhat of a prove-it year. Thoughts on his start so far, and some of the things that he's done have given me some hope. Some of the things that he has done has made me go, that's a lot of reminiscent from what he's done last year.
It's a small sample size. He's putting good swings on the bat. He's making some decent content. The thing that stands out for me, just because I watch the game differently than most people, is his pitch selection looks more like it did, in previous years, not like it did last year, where he was just letting, fastballs down the middle go right past him. He's not missing those as much. He's laying off the pitches outside the zone and close, which is good. You're still not getting the actual numbers and production that you're hoping for. But again, I think we need to take into account we may be holding Christian Yelich to a ridiculously high standard, because what he did in the second half of 2018 and the first 5/8, 6/8 of 2019 were out of this world.
Right.
And it's the thing I always say. He might not be that good, but he's definitely not as bad as we saw. Get somewhere in the middle, and you have to try. You have to try and think about it without thinking about what that salary number is. Because if you let that influence your impression, it's never going to live up to it.
I look at Christian Yelich, Kevin, as give me 275, 280, as opposed to 320. But give me 15, 25 home runs. Because he was a power guy. He was a guy that was hitting into the gap. He was a guy that was hitting doubles and even an occasional triple. But he was a guy that also had quite a bit of pop. For that 3-week period, maybe the second week of July into maybe the first week of August last year, he started to kind of reemerge, and he had a couple of home runs and had a couple of doubles. He dropped down a bunt to the opposite direction. It kind of ignited things, and the Brewers won a game because of it. And I thought, okay, here we go. And then it just petered out, and then there was nothing. And to me, look, if he hits doubles all day long, that's one thing, but give me some power numbers to go along with that, because just base hit all the time, while it's good, it's not what you're paying for, so to speak.
It's an interesting thing with Yelich is it's amazing what losing your timing mechanism does to everything else in your approach to hitting. So this knee injury is probably, look, I'm not inside his mind, but I imagine it's not a thing in terms of it being a physical thing, but hurting that knee and losing that much time and losing that timing mechanism, then came a pandemic. So you got a 60-game season, and this offseason was a little bit different. So again, it's a routine that's kind of thrown off. And I think once that timing mechanism is down and you see him start to drive the ball the other way, the peak Yelich was a guy that would take those fastballs away and deposit them in the bullpen in left center. In fact, since we're coming clean with stories, can I come clean with a story?
Of course.
That involves this.
We got 2 minutes. Shoot.
All right. There's a guy that pitches now for the Blue Jays, former Brewer named Trevor Richards, that spent a little time working for my wife at Miller when he was a minor league pitcher. So he came back to town with the Marlins. And he was with another pitcher. Do I name the pitcher? I can name the pitcher.
Name the pitcher.
So Caleb Smith is the other pitcher.
Okay.
And so it's Trevor Richards and Caleb Smith, and we're there, and she's giving him a tour. It's the employee beer or the employee bar.
Yeah.
Having a beer, and we start talking about Yelich, and I said, man, it is crazy what this dude is doing to fastballs outer half.
Yeah.
Like he's depositing them in the bullpen, and Caleb is the starting pitcher the next day. And I'm thinking, man, what did I just do?
Right.
He goes in the first at bat to Yelich the next day and tries to throw a fastball past him away, and Yelich hits it like 440. And I'm thinking, you were told this. Like, not that he's going to listen to me, but, like that was how good he was. Tell him that this was coming, and it was still happening. And that's if he gets some of that timing mechanism back.
Yeah.
doubles, and then I think homers eventually start to happen.
And when you were out at spring training, that facility with all the metrics that they look at, his bat speed slowed at all? Did they talk about that?
They haven't really talked about that, but that's definitely something to keep a look at. It doesn't look any different. His swing doesn't look any different, at least from what we're seeing and what we see on StatCast. I honestly think it's just it's got to be mental at this point. It's baseball. You get in your head so much. You get in a little bit of a slump, and one day becomes 2 and 2 becomes 3. Sometimes it's hard to shake out of it. And when we add in everything that was weird about the last couple of years, even another weird offseason and a slow start to spring training, it's going to be that way. I think he's going to be fine. I really do. He's not a terrible baseball player. I mean, even if you get the Miami Marlins version of Christian Yelich, I think the Brewers have a pretty good player on their hands.
Right.
And I think that's a realistic expectation. Anything above that is gravy. But if you get, like you said, 275, 280, get that OPS around 900, 925, 20, 25 home runs, drive in some. That's what they need out of him. They need the consistent guy. They don't need him to be a superstar every day. They just need him to be consistent every day.
We are broadcasting live at STENY'S. Coming up after the top of the hour, we're going to talk with Jim Ozarski a little bit about Giannis and the story that he did regarding Giannis. And then after that, are you guys going to hang out for a little bit?
We got to go and interrogate the skipper.
Okay.
So,
well, they're leaving. We're not. Chuck is back. Ozarski will join us. So we got plenty going on. So, Glenn, thanks for stopping by, guys.
Thanks for having us.
And grabbing yourself a beverage. And,
Happy home opener.
I can't believe you're not staying for food and wings, man.
Oh, we wish.
I know. Well, we're on the workout plan, so
The guy that verified the Bubba Gump shrimp story is on his way down here.
Is he really?
Yeah, he said, tell the guys that the Tux was my friend that Tuesday. The Tux pads.
Have him bring toilet paper.
There you go. We're going to go ahead and take a quick break. 2 hours down, 2 hours yet to go. Stay tuned. We got a lot more of the Bill Michaels Show. We are broadcasting live down here at STENY'S, second and National Walker's Point. Brewers opening day. We'll be back right after this.
This is a Wisconsin Sports Zone update.
Well, the Brewers are at 500 on the year. That's after a 4-2 win in Baltimore last night. Milwaukee got a great effort from Corbin Burns. He went 7 innings, didn't allow a run, struck out 8, and left with a 2-0 lead. But Devin Williams unable to hold that lead. Got charged with giving up a pair of runs in the 8th inning. But Milwaukee did have an answer in the 9th. Colton Wong drove in what proved to be the game-winning run. Manager Craig Counsell happy that they got the win, but is looking for more.
We need to score a couple more runs. We're making it pretty challenging on our pitching staff right now. So to get those runs in the 9th was needed for sure, not just for tonight, but put together a nice rally against a good pitcher. So that was good to come out of here after a great starting performance by Corbin and still get a win.
Brewers are back in Milwaukee this afternoon for the home opener against the Cardinals. Brandon Woodruff on the mound for the Crew. St. Louis sends Adam Wainwright. First pitch is set for 4:14. Turning to the Bucks, they were back at practice today as they continue to prep for Sunday's matchup with the Bulls in Game 1 of their first-round playoff series. Tip at Fiserv Forum is set for 5:30.
Your work-life balance is important to you, and Sutton Transport agrees. Sutton Transport offers a 5-day work week. Same start times daily, and you'll be home nightly and on weekends. Sutton Transport is now hiring CDL drivers and forklift operators for all shifts. Enjoy some of the best benefits in the industry. Consistent year-round work, twice-a-year wage increases, and enjoy your family time you deserve. That is work-life balance. The road to success is with Sutton Transport. Apply at suttontrans.com.
Well, the Packers are hosting a free agent wide receiver today. Former first-round pick Sammy Watkins is in Green Bay, according to the NFL Network. Watkins was with Baltimore last year, but has a connection with Coach Matt LaFleur, having played for him when he was the offense coordinator with the Rams in 2017. Watkins had 8 touchdowns that year, second most in his career. The draft also coming up. It gets going 2 weeks from today in Las Vegas. With this Wisconsin Sports Zone Network update, I'm Zach Heil.
Welcome back. Hour number 3 of the Bill Michaels Show. We are broadcasting live. We are here. We are at STENY'S, second to National Walker's Point. Thanks to all of you listening all throughout the great state of Wisconsin, well beyond the borders as well. And whether you're listening to us in Eau Claire, La Crosse, or right here on WOKY, the Big 920 in Milwaukee, or our flagship station, WOZN out of Madison, we thank you for taking a listen to the program. And thanks to everybody for being here. Thanks to Kevin Holden from CBS 58. Thanks to Andrew Wagner from Forbes.com. We're going to get Chuck Freeman back on with us from WIBA and the AP covering sports in Wisconsin. He'll be joining us again coming up here down here at STENY'S in just a little bit. But joining us now on the hotline, our buddy Jim Ozarski from the Journal-Sentinel covering the Bucks. And that is a team that is just resting up, getting ready for the postseason to begin coming up this Sunday. But a terrific article that was in the paper regarding Giannis. And if you didn't get a chance to read it, you can find it over on the Facebook fan page. Go to facebook.com/The Bill Michaels Show. And it's, as Giannis puts it, focus on the present. And Jim Ozarski now joining us. Jim, how you doing, pal?
I'm good. It's, big weekend in Milwaukee.
It is.
The Brewers opening home weekend, right? The Bulls in town for the Bucks, truly defend their title at the start of the playoffs. It's Milwaukee's a place to be.
Yep, no doubt right now. As there's a lot of excitement. I see a few Bucks jerseys that are down here, predominantly Brewers jerseys, but Bucks jerseys on site as well as we get ready for the postseason. So the time between the end of the season and the actual official first start of the postseason for the Milwaukee Bucks, you got to find things to write about. And you can always talk about the matchups and what the Bucks have done to the Chicago Bulls over the last, 16, 17 games. But the interesting story you put together about Giannis and his thoughts from last year's NBA Finals, when you focus on the past, that's your ego. When you focus on the future, that's your pride. And when you focus on the present, that's humility. I thought it was incredibly interesting to read. What brought that up? Was it just something that was always sitting in the back of your head, or what?
Yeah, I mean, obviously when he said it during the finals last year, it sort of went viral, for lack of a better word. But it kept going, Bill. This summer, I heard football. Really, what pulled it kind of back to the forefront for me was I heard football coaches and players talking about it in July, in August, September, and then it just kind of made me look back at it. And sure enough, I find out that people in all walks of life, excuse me here with the dog, all walks of life, Zosha's not feeling it too much. Just connected with it, and it sort of changed their view on how to approach their daily acumen, if you will. And I had to go back and talk to him why he thought that way and why it was important. And he didn't know that he affected people, Bill. And so that was part of it too. And then he's like, I'm not sure I should be that guy. People should look to me. And so, and to apply it to today, Giannis isn't looking at the finals last year. He's not looking at the finals this year. I think that's how he and the team has adopted that. And I guess if you're a Bucks fan, you're like, hey, how does this apply to this year? I think they're dialed in to try to do it again and not really think about last season.
Does this... When Giannis says things and the way he handles himself, obviously he was very prophetic in many certain ways. That's okay. Obviously he was very prophetic in many certain ways. Does he understand how big his stature has grown when it comes to, quote, superstardom?
Man, that's a great question. I think there's a little bit of yes and no there, Bill. I think the yes, in that he's Mark Antanasio is the first guy to bring him into the ownership group since Mark bought the team, right? If we're going to talk about the Brewers.
Yeah.
So I think he's obviously, you got to be a certain level to get there. But I think when you present this type of thing to him, that his words sort of affect others, and that people look at him as more than just a basketball player. I don't know if he fully grasps all of that. And when you bring it to him, he's like, wow, and he appreciates it. But it's one of those things where I think truly he doesn't know in that way.
The team itself, just talking X's and O's, when I watched this team down the stretch, it was very reminiscent of last year. Now, granted, they don't have that tenacity of P.J. Tucker the way they had last year. They've got a guy in Bobby Portis who tends at times to fill that role. But getting Brook Lopez back and being able to work him in and kind of, be the mad scientist and figure out which roles work for which people and when and who can defend what. And just watching him play in that first game against Chicago back at the Fiserv Forum, it wasn't that he was this big, incredible rim protector as far as a shot blocker goes, but he was literally dictating who would and who would not take shots in the paint. And getting all of these guys back together, how important was that to be able to get a few games under their belt before they get to this postseason?
Yeah, Bill, it's interesting. I think in general, I think when you think about the Bucks, right, it's beyond this series. Not to discount the Bulls, right? But you kind of do, right? Like if you're the defending champs and you're the, you're looking to win another championship, it's sort of beyond who you're playing. I know that's sort of the company line, right? Focus on yourself,
right.
Get better, improve. But I think that's kind of what it has to be. And this goes back, we won't need to get into like ducking teams in the nets because they didn't do that. It is about can Brook Lopez re-anchor this defense, right?
Right.
Can they look, Bill, since the All-Star break, they're one of the worst teams in basketball on the defensive end,
right?
Which sounds absurd, right? So I think for them, are they as good as they can be? Yes, win these games, but sort of how are you building toward a potential finals run? And I do think it starts defensively. And then, of course, is Giannis the best player left in the playoffs? And I think Jrue Holiday's a big deal, too. He couldn't make a shot last year, Bill, in the playoffs. We kind of forget that, right?
Right.
And he's coming in playing some of his best basketball.
You talked about the defense. I had said specifically the two teams that scare me the most, not necessarily in the East, but more so Phoenix and Golden State, because they hit so well beyond the arc. They have legit three-point shooters that do it consistently. And this team is one of the worst teams when it comes to defending beyond the arc. Otherwise, I don't feel bad about anybody. I think, Kevin Durant can take over a ball game, and you got to watch him, and Joel Embiid can bang inside. But the two teams that probably scare me the most is if and when the Bucks get to the finals, Phoenix can shoot threes with everybody, and obviously with a healthy Steph Curry, he can as well. Are those the only two teams that give you pause?
Yeah, I think in the East, they're very good. I think Miami is better than a year ago. I'm going to put respect on the number one seed, I think Boston gives the Bucks matchups, but I do believe the Bucks are the best team in the East. I don't think there's those questions of last year with the Nets. I don't know if they were the best team in the East last year if the Nets were fully healthy.
Right.
But they're not the same team.
Right.
The Bucks team is not the same team. So, yeah, I think the West is Phoenix is a problem. I think Golden State's a problem in a different way, in that they don't have the bigs that can kind of, I don't want to say neutralize Giannis, but I mean, the Phoenix built itself to beat the Bucks. And so, yeah, I think if you're a Bucks fan, you're going to get some scares, I think, because of the defense like we just mentioned. But I think you can look toward the West and say, wow, all right, Phoenix, Golden State, look, still Memphis is a problem.
Yeah.
So, I wouldn't be shocked if the Grizzlies get in there. And again, that's a problem in a different way for Milwaukee.
The team itself, when you look at the big three, this, as now people are saying, it's the legit big three. It's Jrue Holiday, it's Chris Middleton, and obviously Giannis. Chris very quietly kind of goes about his business. Jrue Holiday can put up big numbers on almost any given night. Chris seems to do it sporadically. He doesn't do it on a consistent basis. Is Chris Middleton the straw that stirs the drink, or is he just the oh yeah, by the way, if you're going to say big three, he's the flavor du jour?
Flavor du jour at the end of the games, right?
Right.
I mean, look, Chris is going to kind of do his thing, and you may not think about it until he hits the game winner from 20 feet, right? Or help set that up. So I think, Drew and Giannis kind of do their thing, but I think when it's time to win, game one against the Heat last year, where we might see that again this year, where the Bulls are going to come out. They're going to be close. Bucks have been a week off. Chris might hit the game winner Sunday night.
Right.
That's what he's there. I mean, look, they can win if he has that 6 for 18, 4 turnover game. But they're going to win a title because he's going to drop 36 in a must-have game when maybe Drew's off. He's again, I think a little underappreciated to a degree, but I think if you're a Bucks fan, you got to look back at last year's playoffs, games 5 and 6, right, against the Hawks with Giannis out. Chris was the man.
Right.
And so his bona fides right now, I think you got to feel real good about him and what he's going to do this playoff.
Real quick before I let you go, as this team gets ready for Chicago, give me the team, because I don't think they have any problem with Chicago. I think they win the series most likely 4-1. Give me the team that probably bothers you the most coming out of the East other than Milwaukee.
I'll say Miami. I mean, I can't ignore a team that's been at the top of the conference from start to finish. I don't think they have anything for the Bucks, to be honest. I think the Bucks will beat the Heat. That said, PJ Tucker's added something for those guys. Bam Adebayo and Dwayne Dedmon in the middle are going to run some bodies. Eric Spoelstra is going to do Eric Spoelstra things and run stuff that the Bucks hadn't seen. I'm not, as you can tell, I'm not in on the Nets still. I think Boston could have been a bigger problem if Robert Williams III was healthy. Even if he comes back, I mean, he's just come off a meniscus tear. Does he have anything for Giannis? I don't think so. So I'll put respect on Boston for what they've done since Christmas and Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. But I will think it's Miami. I think they're going to come out of that other end of the bracket. And look, 3 years in a row with the Heat, I mean, bring it on. It'll be must-see TV.
Jim, always good stuff. I appreciate it, buddy. We'll touch base again as the postseason continues on, okay?
All right, thanks, Bill, so much.
Appreciate it, pal. There you go. You can read that story if you wanted to over at the Facebook fan page. Go to facebook.com/TheBillMichaelsShow, facebook.com/TheBillMichaelsShow. When we come back, we'll touch base one more time with our buddy Chuck Freeman down here at STENY'S, second in National Walker's Point. Brewers fans really starting to come into the place and fill it up as everybody gets ready to take the shuttle bus over to American Family Field, where the Brewers are going to take on the St. Louis Cardinals in the home opener. It's the home opener for the Milwaukee Brewers, opening day, so to speak, 2022. And we got more, including the starting lineup for today's contest. That is coming up next on the Bill Michaels Show.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket. This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Buy more, save more with a patio door.
Wait, what?
Right now at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, the more windows you buy, the more you'll be saving by adding a patio door.
Miss Della from Pella?
Please call me Gina.
Okay, Gina Della for Pella. Like, I was told there'd be no map.
That's okay. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin makes it easy. Now through April 30th, when you buy 3 Pella windows, you'll save $500 when you add a patio door. Buy 6, save $1,000 with a patio door. Buy a dozen Pella windows, save $2,000 when you...
Add a patio door?
Correct. And along with 6 full lines of windows, traditional to contemporary, Pella of Wisconsin has financing to fit most any budget.
Awesome.
Buy more, save more with a patio door, but only through April 30th. Set your free consultation today at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. See showroom for details.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Old school music. Welcome back to the program.
Yeah, Be a Believer in Brewer Fever.
Yeah.
There was Turning Up the Heat. That song too, but I've always liked Be a Believer in Brewer Fever.
That was the Come See What's Brewing too.
Yes, that's what it's Come See What's Brewing. Yeah.
How about that? Going old school. Look at Ben. Ben doesn't even have. He's learning. He doesn't even have a clue.
Young guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ben, how old are you? 24.
I'm 23.
23.
Oh,
there
Ben, I got frozen food older than you.
Nah, I'm like a rookie quarterback that just saw the playbook for the first time.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah. And he's a Philadelphia guy.
Oh no.
Yeah, he's a guy from Philly. So yeah, that's a whole other story.
You know, it's funny when I was in Philadelphia when I covered the playoffs, the Bucks in the playoffs back in 2001. Ben was like 3.
I was there.
Yeah, you remember that?
Yep.
But when you listen to WIP, the local sports talk station, after the Bucks would win in Philadelphia, they wanted to dismantle the Phillies and they wanted to close down the spectrum, and that was that. But then when they won, the Phillies are the greatest thing, and they're going to go to the NBA Finals. And they're going to beat the Lakers, and I mean the fans are so swayed. I mean, we all are swayed a little bit, but never so much in Philly.
Some of the best stories I have, and the best cab ride ever, was coming out of Philadelphia.
Okay.
Was for that series.
Yeah.
It was the last game, and we went over to Gino's. And what's the other one? There's Gino's, and what's the one across the street, Ben?
Pat's.
Gino's and Pat's.
Yeah.
We went to Gino's, and our cab driver, who I can only guess, I think he was Jamaican, he backed into a Mercedes SUV, dropping us off.
Oh, no.
And it was myself and another guy who's no longer with the Bucks. But we went over. He was wearing his Bucks gear. I wasn't. So they're back behind the glass going, "You're with the Bucks?" And they're spitting your food back here, and he's dropping F-bombs and everything on us, and it's fun,
Sure.
And they're just giving us all kinds of grief. So the cab driver says, "You go eat, you go do your thing. I'll take care of this. You guys come back, and I'll get you over to the arena." I said, "Okay, great." So we're sitting there, we're eating our food, and you can see him exchanging information. The guy in the Mercedes, what beautiful white, this beautiful pearl-looking Mercedes, just the whole front end of it's now smashed in. And the guy's going nuts. And we get in the car, we get done eating, and he's like, You good? You good? That's great. Okay, let's get us over. He says, "I got one thing to do." And he goes pulling down between all the really high buildings in downtown and pulls into an alley. And I thought, we were the witnesses to this accident. This guy's going to kill us. And I said, man, because he went to the trunk. He got out.
Oh,
we
no.
pulled into an alley, and he went to the trunk. We pulled next to a dumpster. And he goes to the trunk. And I told the guy, I said, if I see anything that even looks like a shotgun or something, I'm diving out. We're running.
Running, yeah.
The guy gets out. He slams the trunk. He comes over. He's got this roll. I'm like, what the hell? He rips the name of the cab company off the side of the cab, throws a new magnetic sticker up on there. So it goes from whatever, Universal Cab Company to AAA Cab Company, throws them in the dumpster. He pulls this thing out of the visor up above. He looks at it. He takes the driver's license. He goes, okay, now he had a new name, and he threw the other driver's license in the dumpster. He goes, man, never catch me, and it drove away.
Wow, okay.
I thought, oh my!
And you still stayed in the car.
This is the best story ever.
Yes.
I said, I'll tip you whatever you want. This is the best story ever.
But did you worry about where he was going to drive you next?
No. He was such a cool guy at that point. Now it's like, oh, okay, well, we'll talk to you later. And he's like, you from Milwaukee? No worries. It was so funny. But I was.
It was after Game 7.
That was right before Game 7.
Oh, before Game 7.
Right before Game 7. When the infamous of pulling Scotty Williams off the plane and everything went down. So that was one of my best Philadelphia stories. The only other time I had a great cab story was in Pittsburgh when the guy was literally drunk. His front seat wasn't attached.
Okay.
So when he took off, it would flop back and forth when they had the old bench seats.
Sure.
And we were going to the Westin Hotel to stay and cover the Bengals and the Steelers. And he literally hit the Westin. He hit the corner of the Westin. He didn't make the turn. He hit a telephone pole and hit the corner of the Westin and just pulls a bottle of Jack out and throws it down the street and says, I've got to get rid of that. And he goes, this one's on me. And we tipped him like $10 and said, okay, let's get the hell out of here.
Sometimes those off the court stories are better than.
Oh my God! Some of them were fantastic. So we're obviously filling up down here. For those that are watching on the Bud Light live stream and you can't be here in person, the front of STENY'S is filling up fast, and the back of STENY'S in the back area is starting to fill up. As a matter of fact, I just saw 2 trays of shots go back there. Looked like 30 shots each.
Yeah, there's a big table. Big table back there.
They're imbibing pretty heavy and getting ready for opening day. So as far as the opening day goes, now Chuck, I know you got to take off, but give me your thoughts on today, on the season, on what excitement there is, and do you feel? Because I think myself does this team have enough to get to a World Series and get past what we all would assume would be the best team in baseball, and that would be the LA Dodgers?
Well, they always say pitching wins. Well, that's true, but you also got to be able to score some runs.
Right.
Which I don't know if this team is. I thought last year's team was good enough to win the World Series. They got cold at the bad time in that series against the Braves. But still, I mean, I like them. You got two guys at the top of that rotation who are Cy Young caliber guys. Burns is wanted. Woodruff is Cy Young caliber. And then, the rest of the rotation, Eric Lauer, okay. Adrian Hauser, still got my questions about. But, you look at the top 2-3 guys, all solid, real solid pitchers. And now you look at the offense, man, can they get more than a handful of runs? Like last night, it almost cost them when they just couldn't score enough runs. They scored some runs. They scored some runs early on. And then they were like, well, okay, I guess we'll just sit back. I don't know what it is, but the Brewers just got this habit of getting these horrible funks offensively. And they're in one right now. And I think they're going to bust out. But, they're going to win the division. They just got to be able to stay hot offensively at the right time, because I think it's going to be a fun summer again.
I like what the Brewers bring. I think St. Louis is aging in a lot of areas. I think a lot of their pitching staff hinges upon whether or not Wainwright's even going to remain healthy for an entire season. The back end of their bullpen can be a little bit iffy at times, whereas the Brewers have been so incredibly solid with Hader. How many more years do you think the Brewers hang on to Hader?
I think I think if they're not in a pennant race, Bill, I think they'll trade him by the trading deadline. I mean, worst case scenario.
I can't imagine them not being in the pennant race.
Well, I know, because that they're a good team, and plus they're in a weak division. But let's say worst.
Could we look at him, though, as like Trevor Hoffman? Where Trevor stayed with San Francisco or San Diego for years.
But here's the deal, Bill. They won't commit a long-term contract with him. They would not buy him out of arbitration. Every year he's going to arbitration and getting these one-year deals. They will not buy him out and give him a contract extension for whatever reason. And I think the reason is because they don't want to get burned, because with closers, as you know, closers can lose it at any second, and he has it. He's been solid since 2017. So I think that's the one thing that you wonder, are they going to eventually part ways with him? Now, again, I feel, Bill, two guys for sure. If they're not in a pennant race in July, McCutcheon's gone, and so is
Hader.
So is Hader. McCutcheon has good, yeah. But I mean, I'm assuming they're going to be in.
Right.
If they're not in the pennant races in July, if they're out of it by then there's worse problems.
Let's say they are in a pennant race.
Mm-hmm.
What is the area you would shore up?
Well, I didn't think Urias at third base. I like more power out of that third base spot. I was talking to Doug Melvin, and he seems to feel that they're okay at third base. With
Urias in the postseason last year really proved it. So he solidified that job.
He did. He's hurt right now, but I would think, I just like that. I like when Moustakas, the power hitting third baseman.
Right. Boy, you talk about Moustakas. Ever since he left Milwaukee, he's been terrible.
He has been.
I thought he'd go down to Great America and beat the hell out of the baseball down there. Never has. He's just been banged up ever since.
I did too, Bill. I really did too. Yelich has got to get better. I like the pickup of Renfroe in right field. They're strong up the middle. First base, still have my doubts a little bit about Rowdy Tellez.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that? I've just he's never been really an everyday guy, and he's got off to a good start here, but I don't know.
I think Rowdy Tellez is more of a DH.
DH, but McCutcheon is there,
right?
But with Rowdy Tellez, they got to see what they got with Hira. Have you given up on him yet? I haven't. I just feel like
I think that when I said Yelich has a proven year, I think Hira has a proven year this year.
But last year
he hasn't been able to bust into the lineup with the kind of spring that he had.
Yeah,
I thought for sure he'd find some more at bats, and he hasn't.
No,
because Colton Wong is struggling now.
Yeah, but Colton, he had the triple last night.
Right,
he had the triple last night. But Tellez at first base, I'm not, and I know he's a fan favorite, but I'm not completely sold on him as an everyday first baseman in this lineup. So, they'll shore up the lineup. They'll get things if they get the July. They're still in the pennant race. Hopefully, they'll make some improvements on this roster.
I see this team going the direction come the trade deadline of probably trying to bolster the bullpen and maybe to find one bat. Maybe a first base bat in that area. Because you're right. I mean, usually the old adage was left field, right field, third base, first base. Those were your power positions besides a catcher.
Yeah.
You were powerful down the lines. And you're not going to get power numbers out of Yelich, at least not as of yet. Renfroe, maybe. McCutcheon as a DH, maybe. You're going to get some of those numbers from Rowdy, but you're not going to get it out of the third base position.
You got Taylor in center field, who's he's learning that position.
Him and Lorenzo Cain.
Yeah. Cain's kind of at the end.
Yeah. But if he can give you 265 or 270 in Gold Glove play,
yeah.
I mean, the ball he ran down the other night against the wall was fantastic.
Yeah,
he still got it.
And another guy, Bill, who's got to stay healthy. He's had a series of injuries over the years.
Yep.
But third base spot and the first base spot, to me, Urias, not 100% sold on him at third base just yet. I'd like to get a little bit better power out of that position. And let's see how Tellez does as an everyday, And Hira, I'd like to see him emerge a little bit here, and then they don't have to worry about getting a first baseman.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think that. Do you think this is the year that Craig Counsell just wins Manager of the Year just because?
Yeah, so many people. I mean, I think that's just in every city. You want to throw darts at your manager, your coach, and all that. But I don't have any issues. I don't have any issues with Counsell. I don't know what. I mean, I never have. Even when they lost or they go these. No, I don't. No, not at all.
I don't have issues with him. I think he's done a fantastic job of managing the bullpen, the pitching staff, manipulating the lineups.
Yeah.
I think they use analytics to their advantage. Sometimes I think maybe they get almost too cute, but for the most part, I think he's really settled in as a really good major league manager.
I think so too. He's a smart guy. I'm glad he's managing here, and he's going to hold on to that job for a long time. And, David Stearns, I think, is a darn good general manager, and he's going to be here for the foreseeable future, too. Anytime another team comes a calling, Mark Antanasio just kind of reminds him.
Doesn't he have an out that if he wins the World Series, he can do what he wants?
You know what? If he wins the World Series, they could have everybody.
Yeah. Right?
They could have everybody.
But then again, why would you leave the town that you could basically drink in for free the rest of your life if you win as the general manager of the Brewers and you construct a team that wins its first World Series ever?
I mean, I just want to go back. 1982 was my second year covering the Brewers, Bill. And when they lost in Game 7 in St. Louis, I thought, they'll be back. Well, here we are 40 years later.
Right.
We're still looking for it.
What would it mean? Because I came and grew up in Cincinnati. I saw numerous world championships. I was on Fountain Square when they won in 1976 and they swept the Yankees. I was downtown drinking heavily when they swept, which nobody saw them going wire to wire with Lou Piniella and beating up with the almighty Tony La Russa led and Mark McGuire and the Bash brothers and the Oakland A's.
Trust me, I bet on Oakland all 4 of those games.
Right? So, and then who knew, that some of these guys that were nobodies basically would show up and actually, be something in the postseason. But I've seen what cities are like with World Series and such. So what do you think this state does? Because I thought it was amazing when they had 67,000 down at the Deer District when the Bucks won.
Sure.
I can't imagine what this place will be like when not if, but when the Brewers finally win a World Series.
Well, I think it'll be on the this was not a Bucks state. People jumped on the Bucks bandwagon.
Right.
I remember watching one of the playoff games against one of the NBA final games out in Phoenix, up in Door County. The game they won, Game 5 up there. And I saw and the bar was jammed up in Sister Sister Bay. And if you came in there any time during the winter, they probably wouldn't have a Bucks game on at the place there. But, people just jumped on the bandwagon. So this has become, because of that and because of Giannis, this is, Bucks drew more statewide interest. Brewers have a statewide radio network. Okay. They're going to draw some interest, and I think that, if they bust the door down and win the World Series, it'll be like the Bucks, probably even bigger. The Packers are always going to rule Wisconsin.
Right.
But, you and I, living in the Milwaukee area, basically, we saw how big it was in the Milwaukee metropolitan area when the Bucks won. It's gonna be the same thing if the Brewers win.
I think it will be the Bucks on steroids. I really do. I think if the Brewers should win a World Series in Game 7s on the road, I could see 50 to 100,000 people crammed in down around American Family Field.
I didn't think the Bucks winning the NBA title would draw as big of attention as it had.
That drew a younger crowd too.
It did. It did. And you know what, the Bucks too, people are down on the Bucks for so many years. The Bucks couldn't get out of their own way, and that was their fault. And people were just like, the Milwaukee Bucks. Never felt that way about the Brewers, really. But the Bucks people, I think, and then the Bucks are the team that wins the NBA championship. Yeah, I think the Bucks stole a lot of hearts in this state. But there's plenty to be one on the Brewer bandwagon. And when you're playing every night like that, people are watching these games. I go walking through my neighborhood, on a random Tuesday or Wednesday night. You walk by houses, people got the windows open. Who do you hear? You hear the TV broadcast. You hear Brian on TV or now Levering.
Yeah.
So
it's
people are watching.
Yeah, I think people are kind of salivating, and I think this is the year that they can actually get it done, provided the pitching.
I hope so.
Solid. Yeah.
I hope so. The Dodgers are the team to beat,
right?
Obviously in the National League, but the Brewers, get hot at the right time. I thought 2018 was the year. I thought maybe last year could have been their year.
Yeah.
But look around baseball. I mean, I watched the Blue Jays play last night. Yankees, they're good. They got to get their offense going a little bit, get out of boppers. Toronto's probably the best team. Toronto and the Dodgers are probably the two best teams overall in baseball. But the Brewers are not that far off.
Chuck, you got to head home and catch some wings before you
I do. I got to take a little nap. I've been up since 3 o'clock. It's late afternoon start, so I'm going to get a little nap, and then, another opening day to cover.
Another opening day. Chuck, man, appreciate it as always.
Bill,
pal.
it is
Thanks,
always
buddy.
a pleasure being on your show.
Kristen will be here in a minute. She said hang out until she gets her.
Oh, sure.
Say hi to you. But,
okay.
But no, because I just saw that she was pulling in. Let's do this. We're going to go ahead and take a quick break. We are broadcasting live. We're at STENY'S, second and National Walker's Point. The place is filling up fast, and if you want to be a part of it or you want to take a shuttle over to the game, by all means, come on down to STENY'S and enjoy some food, some Bloody Marys, maybe a beverage or two. Our friends from Bud Light are on site. They got some specials going on, and then head yourself over to the ball game on the STENY'S shuttle, and then come back, pick your car up later on today, and then you're good to go. Stay tuned. We got a lot more of the Bill Michaels Show, and it's coming up right after this.
This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
They don't repair cracked helmets, cracked teeth, or cracked stadium seats. They do repair cracked windshields. Complete Auto Glass, windshield repair and replacement, windshield camera recalibration, and more. An insurance-preferred service provider with free price quotes and a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Plus, you'll be happy to know you're dealing with a local, family-owned business who understand their Wisconsin neighbors. Complete Auto Glass, repair and replacement. Visit CompleteAutoGlass.com. Bill Michaels will resume in 5 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 4 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
We are glad you're with us. We are broadcasting live. We're at STENY'S, 2nd and National, Walker's Point. That's where you can find us. It is opening day 2022. The Brewers taking on St. Louis a little bit later on today down at the ball yard. You've got Brandon Woodruff going to the hill for the Crew. Adam Wainwright takes the hill for his second start of the season for the St. Louis Cardinals. And it should be a good one. A lot of people anticipating a solid weekend of baseball. Easter weekend down at American Family Field should be exciting. And then after that, the Pittsburgh Pirates come to town for a 3-game set, again, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of next week. So we're glad you're with us. This portion of the program brought to you by our friends over there at New Male Medical, treating guys with ED all over the state of Wisconsin, well beyond the borders as well. And all you got to do is just give them a call, whether it's for ED, which they have a 98% success rate at treating, or in addition to that, they have also got the low T treatments if you're feeling tired, sluggish, moody, whatever that happens to be. If you want the all-in-one weight loss program because you're looking at yourself going, need a little help in that area coming T-shirt season as the warmer weather starts to creep in upon us, and hopefully it gets here sooner rather than later. All you got to do is give them a call, 414-455-4451. That's 414-455-4451. Again, 414-455-4451. That is the New Male Medical Center. Ben, how's today been? Are you getting a better flavor of opening day?
Oh, I'm having a good time. I'm a little jealous that I'm not eating, drinking, and taking in baseball later, but no, it's a good day.
It has been.
I've always been a huge fan of opening day. I would always go. It's like the start of real warm weather, really the start of my happiness.
Well, in Philadelphia, the weather's a little bit different. Obviously, it's not, it's not as cold as long, so to speak, but it's not like you guys just all of a sudden warm up and are 78 this time of year, right?
Oh, no, it's in the 40s, and we've had pretty bad weather opening days, but I would always go, and I don't know. It's a really important day in the calendar of happiness for me.
Right.
I need baseball at night,
Yeah, well,
it's like a summer.
That's it. This is the time. I found myself with that last night. I ended up doing some work at the house, went downstairs. I had a beverage, had a cigar, grilled out a little bit last night, made some brats, threw some sauerkraut on there, and I felt like baseball yesterday. And it's just, now it'll really feel baseball when I get the TV, the radio, all that stuff outside, out back, tiki bar, all that kind of stuff. And I'm sitting out back in short sleeves watching the sun go down. That's when it really kind of starts to hit for me. But opening day here with a lot of fans, a lot of people gathering, getting ready to take the shuttle down to American Family Field, coming in, imbibing a little bit, having some Bloody Marys, and just getting ready for baseball. And everybody seems to be in Brewers gear today. Jerseys, hats, shirts, pants. Creatively, some people have things on all three, whatever it happens to be. But no, I agree. I think baseball and opening day specifically suddenly becomes kind of, especially for northern states, a rite of passage. I don't know. I don't know what it's like, say, in Florida. And I don't know what it's like in Texas, whether it's Dallas for Arlington, down for the Texas Rangers or what have you. I don't know what it's like in San Diego. It can't feel the same, right?
Oh, there's no way. I mean, I know here, and Philadelphia is similar, but you have football throughout the winter and the fall, and it kind of gets you through the winter, and you love it for what it is. But then once baseball comes, it's the time where everyone is naturally happier. The first $13 beer at the ballpark, it's harder than anything else. But yeah, it has to be different. I mean, you look down in Miami, they have all the stuff to do in the world. I don't know why they'd go to Marlins opening day and why it'd be a big thing.
Yep. No, completely agree. It's got to be different south than it is north. I mean, and it's different here because at American Family Field, because of the tailgating. Now, that big expanse, for those that have never been, what is the ballpark in Philadelphia? Is it Century?
Citizens
Bank Park. Okay, I knew it began with a C. I couldn't remember. So, but that big expanse, those massive parking lots they have around there that are adjacent to Lincoln Financial and adjacent to the arena, there's tailgating there, right?
Oh, all the time.
Okay. Because, like we mentioned earlier, like there's certain cities you can't even tailgate. Chicago, they don't tailgate. I can't imagine baseball without tailgating. Detroit, they don't tailgate. You can't tailgate in Cincinnati. You're downtown. You're landlocked in Pittsburgh. I've only been to one St. Louis Cardinals game, and I was walking around the outside of the ballpark where they have the restaurants, and they don't tailgate. They go to the restaurants. Boston, I was just up in Boston recently, and there isn't any tailgating in that area. They go to all the bars. They pile into the bars and fulfill the economic coffers of the downtown area in the city there. So there's no tailgating there. It's not the same. I feel like a sporting event, short of maybe going to a basketball event in an arena, you can't tailgate. It's not the same, right?
Oh, not at all. I mean, I've done it for basketball games, but no, there's nothing better. And yeah, it's part of the culture in Philly as well. Bill, did you see the video of down at the ballpark, what the parking lots look like right now?
No, where's it at?
Oh, the winds. I'll find it again, but the winds are ripping the covers off of the dumpsters.
Oh God, yeah.
It's next level.
I was just sitting here watching down the street, and I can see the bushes across the street just whipping back and forth. But just a little while ago, and I mentioned this just before the place got really kind of crowded and the wind started to whip up and come right down National Avenue, because we're here on the corner of 2nd and National, and National runs east to west. So the western winds coming in took one of those big, giant green dumpsters, the garbage can dumpsters, and it just went rolling on by. It was like it was part of traffic. So I can't imagine trying to put a tent up or one of those little canopy covers or anything like that on a day like today, and then try to tailgate under it. Or, God forbid, you try to keep your fire going. If you're trying to do things with charcoal and fire and briquettes, and good luck with that, because I don't know how you're going to be able to do it on a day like today. I mean, I know Packers fans do it. They're pro. But for baseball, you just want to light the grill. You want to walk away. You want to go throw the ball around a little bit, maybe have a beverage, and then come back when the coals are hot, and then, you throw down. But I can't imagine as to what it's going to be like, just trying to tailgate down there. I just can't imagine. Can't imagine. And the lot just opened, didn't it? Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah. The lot's just opened.
Yeah, and I think they asked people not to put up those canopies.
Yeah, because it's probably going to end up over there at the Hank Aaron Trail or something. I am watching garbage on the street, and I hate to say that, but I'm watching garbage on the street tornadically go upward right now. As it spins around. It went up and out of sight above the windows, and I never saw it come down. So for those that haven't stepped outside yet, incredibly windy day is what it is. Let's do this. We're going to step away, take a quick break. It is opening day 2022, and American Family Field is going to be full of excitement. And the tailgaters that we're going to aren't. They're coming down here and hanging out with us. We're at STENY'S, 2nd and National, Walker's Point. Got Bud Lights on special down here. Obviously, the Bill Michaels garlic cheese bread, the wings, the food is fantastic. I was watching the table behind me do shots like there's no tomorrow. I mean, just tray after tray after tray of them. So I don't know if you want to go down on the shuttle with them, but they're taking the shuttle down to the ballpark a little bit later on this afternoon as well. The shuttles are now parked out front. They have 2 big buses they're taking people down and back on, and they'll keep them running all afternoon long until the game culminates, and then even after the game is over. So come on by STENY'S, 2nd and National, Walker's Point. This portion of the program brought to you by our friends Pella Windows and Doors. Don't forget Gina Della from Pella. They have got all kinds of different lines of windows, replacement windows for you right now. Or maybe you're building a new house and you want to put new windows in, whether it's 2 economical styles of vinyl. They also have a different vinyl or a different style of Impervia, which is kind of like a fiberglass window, and then 3 different wood windows from contemporary to traditional. They've got them all, and they can beautify your home. They can add value to your home. They can keep your home warm in the winter, cool in the summer. Roll screens, slider windows, different casements, different hardware. All you got to do is check them out. Go to 855-PELLA-WI. That's 855-PELLA-WI. Again, 855-PELLA-WI or PELLAWI.com. That is PELLAWI.com. And if you buy windows right now and then throw in a patio door, they're going to continue to take money off of your purchase. It's that simple. The more you buy, the throw in that patio door, the more you're going to end up saving along the way. That's our friends at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Go to PELLAWI.com. That is PELLAWI.com. More of the Bill Michaels Show live at STENY'S opening day 2022 right after this.
This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Welcome back to the program. We are glad you're with us. The Bill Michaels Show. We continue on. Hanging out. We're down at STENY'S, second to National Walker's Point, brought to you by our friends at WIBA. Go to getwabam.com. That is getwabam.com. Tremendous cleaning products, and I've been talking about it a long time. Plus, not to mention, they are a Wisconsin-based company. Go to getwabam.com. Also, speaking of Wisconsin-based, you're coming downtown for fine Italian food. Stop in at our friends over at San Giorgio's or Calderon Club. Say hi to Gino and his whole staff down there. Robin making pizzas over at San Giorgio, the only authentic BPN, Napoleon Pizzeria. And there's only so many of them certified in the country, and we've got one right here in our own backyard. Great pizza. They pair it up with our friends from Point Brewing and Cider Boys. The Cider Boys stuff is a good cider over there. Good stuff. And they pair it up over at Calderon Club with the what they call the Bill Michaels, which is the different sausage with the chicken marsala. You put that together. They give you the Cider Boys. Oh, that's so good. So check that out as well. Our friends Gino and the gang at San Giorgio and Calderon Club. Get the pizzas, get the Bill Michaels, pair it up with Cider Boys, you're good to go. And you're probably going to see our buddy Joe Martino down there, too. Say hi to Joe. Joe's a good guy as well. And that's all together down there at San Giorgio's. 877-867-1670. If you want to give us a shout, we've not taken phone calls all day. We've had terrific guests. My thanks to Kevin Holden from CBS 58 for joining us down here. My thanks as well to our buddy Andrew Wagner, who joins us quite often, and also thanks to Chuck Freeman. Good to see Chuck. I haven't seen Chuck. Him and I haven't been in the same room together for a long time. We talked over the phone. We text a lot. We do a lot of the same things. But we haven't been in a room together for a long time, maybe even before COVID. I didn't even think to see what the date was that the last time we hung out together and did one of these shows. But nevertheless, it's good to see him back and get him back on the program with us. And we'll have to do that more often as well. Got one
Andrew
here.
Wagner was looking good.
Andrew Wagner. Well, Andrew, now his tradition is to a lot of the writers on opening day, they clean up. They do the suits or bow ties, and that's kind of their thing. That's their opening day. They look better than a lot, and he's right, because it was funny. He's wearing the suit and the tie, and the news guy, the television news guy, which normally would be in the suit and the tie, is Kevin Holden, and Kevin's in a blue CBS 58 pullover polo. And then over that, he's got a Brewers jersey on. So a little bit different. They kind of changed roles, but all the print guys on opening day, they all dress in suits and such and make it a very professional welcome back to the old style days of opening day. And then after that, they're all in sweatpants and everything throughout the rest of the season. So good stuff. We have got another hour yet to go. We are broadcasting live. STENY'S, second to National Walker's Point. Man, the beers are flowing. The Bloody Marys are flowing. The food is going. The shuttle just pulled up. The first shuttle is going to be leaving here in about 15, 20 minutes. For Brewers fans that want to go over American Family Field, it's going to run all day. Stay tuned. We got all your coverage right here on the Bill Michaels Sports Talk Network coming up after this.
This is a Wisconsin Sports Zone update.
Well, the Brewers are at 500 on the year. That's after a 4-2 win in Baltimore last night. Milwaukee got a great effort from Corbin Burns. He went 7 innings, didn't allow a run, struck out 8, and left with a 2-0 lead. But Devin Williams unable to hold that lead. Got charged with giving up a pair of runs in the 8th inning. But Milwaukee did have an answer in the 9th. Colton Wong drove in what proved to be the game-winning run. Manager Craig Counsell happy that they got the win, but is looking for more.
We need to score a couple more runs. We're making it pretty challenging on our pitching staff right now. So to get those runs in the 9th was needed for sure, not just for tonight, but put together a nice rally against a good pitcher. So that was good to come out of here after a great starting performance by Corbin and still get a win.
Brewers are back in Milwaukee this afternoon for the home opener against the Cardinals. Brandon Woodruff on the mound for the Crew. St. Louis sends Adam Wainwright. First pitch is set for 4:14. Turning to the Bucks, they were back to practice today as they continue to prep for Sunday's matchup with the Bulls in Game 1 of their first-round playoff series. Tip at Fiserv Forum is set for 5:30.
Want to save even more at Fleet Farm? Well, now you can with Fleet Rewards. It's free to sign up, and there's no credit card required. Using Fleet Rewards is easy. Earn points every time you shop. Plus, get exclusive member offers, birthday and anniversary perks, free tire rotations, and more. Download the Fleet Farm app or create an account at fleetfarm.com/rewards to start earning points today. Fleet Farm, proudly serving the Midwest since 1955.
Well, the Packers are hosting a free agent wide receiver today. Former first-round pick Sammy Watkins is in Green Bay, according to the NFL Network. Watkins was with Baltimore last year, but has a connection with Coach Matt LaFleur, having played for him when he was the offensive coordinator with the Rams in 2017. Watkins had 8 touchdowns that year, second most in his career. The draft also coming up. It gets going 2 weeks from today in Las Vegas. With this Wisconsin Sports Zone Network update, I'm Zach Heil.
Final hour of the Bill Michaels Show. We are broadcasting live. We are at STENY'S. It's opening day 2022. And it's not just in Milwaukee. It's throughout the state of Wisconsin as baseball fans everywhere, Brewers fans everywhere, celebrate the home opener. American Family Field debuting itself today as well. And in addition to that, you've got the Cardinals are in town. Adam Wainwright goes to the Hill today for the Cardinals. Brandon Woodruff goes to the hill today for the Milwaukee Brewers, and the Brewers looking to get yet another win after getting a win, the last two, as a matter of fact. If you take away the ugly start of the season, if you want to look at the positive, Ben, here's a stat for you. The Brewers are hot. They have won 3 of their last 4. There you go. Just thought I'd throw that out.
I don't think you're allowed to say that. Like you are contractually obligated to say the sky is falling because Yelich hasn't homered yet.
Yeah, the Brewers have won 3 of their last 4. 3 of the last 4, plating 14 runs in those contests, and yet the game that they did get beat, they got skunked. So the 2 losses prior to since the opening day loss, in which they lost 5-4, which, by the way, the Brewers now have been involved in 3 games in this young season that have been games that have been finals of 5-4. Throwing that out there, just an FYI. But the Brewers now also have been involved in 2 losses, both of which they got skunked. Did not play to run. 9-0 against the Cubs, 2-0 against the Orioles in the opener. They won the last game against the Cubs 5-4. Then they won again on what is today? Thursday. They won again on Tuesday 5-4, and then won again last night 4-2. So they've got 2 shutouts, 3 games that have ended with a final of 5-4 on the season. They have one game in which they were just blown out, and that was the Brandon Woodruff game when he threw against the Cubs, game 2, after the other game got postponed. The second game of the series got postponed, got pushed back a day. And then they won last night 4-2. So 3 of the last 4 they've won. They've looked better. They're hitting the baseball. I'm excited.
And they're undefeated against the Cardinals this year.
And they're undefeated against the Cardinals thus far. How about that? Adam Wainwright, 1-0 on the season. Got to win his first time out. Brandon Woodruff, 0-1. Got shelled his first time out. And hopefully the Brewers can continue the winning ways coming up today. One other side note, more Packers related, but Sammy Watkins visiting the Packers. He's got a connection with Matt LaFleur, and they know one another, and bringing him in. He would be if you want to call him a veteran, he would be a veteran. He's not, that big-time burner, 6'1", 211 pounds. He's played quite a few years. Buffalo, he was with the Rams when Matt LaFleur got to know him a little bit. Kansas City, and then most recently Baltimore before being cut loose. He played in 14 games this past year, 13 of which he was, quote, a starter. Not big numbers, 394 yards, had 1 touchdown, 14.6 yards per catch on the season. So it's not been anything huge. He hasn't had a 1,000-yard receiving year since his second year in the league. That was when he was with Buffalo back in 2015. But he would be a veteran, a guy that you would at least have to pay somewhat attention to. But he's still not going to be that burner guy that's going to give you. He's nowhere near a Devontae Adams. So he's not going to replace Devontae. What you're trying to do is just put some veterans in your stable to maybe make defenses think about a couple of different guys. And maybe one of those is Randall Cobb, another one is Sammy Watkins, and then maybe you get another guy down the road once the June 1st cutdowns come, and you find another guy that might be out there as well that can kind of fill the bill. But as of right now, he is just visiting, and we'll wait and see if the Packers end up signing him. So, Ben, you sent me that video of the wind over there at American Family Field, and I watched the video. The one thing that I saw, and I don't know if you noticed this because you had said, well, did you see the garbage, the dumpster lids were flopping off of the dumpster back and forth, and it's brutal. The wind over there at American Family Field is brutal, especially if you're going to tailgate. Did you see the porta-john in the distance that slid for about 20 feet and then fell over?
Upon further review, I did.
That's what caught my eye. It wasn't
real life jackass,
right? There is literally, as the wind blows west to east, you see from the view of inside American Family Field through the windows looking outside into the parking lot, the dumpsters are flapping like crazy. But then you see all of a sudden out of the backdrop this tall blue thing, and it looked like it's running, and it's not. It's a porta-john It's literally sliding across the parking lot and then must have hit something and blump, over it went. And my first thought was, I hope there was nobody in there. Because if you're in there, you're wearing it. And nobody's going to be sitting next to you at the ball game if you're in there wearing it. Just thought I'd throw that in there. So the wind, to say the winds are whipping at American Family Field would be an understatement. By the way, your lineup for today's contest against the St. Louis Cardinals. You got Colton Wong playing second. He is leading off. Over at shortstop, Willie Adames. He'll be batting. He'll be batting second. Out in left field, Christian Yelich batting third. Your DH, Andrew McCutchen. Andrew McCutchen at first base, batting fifth. Rowdy Tellez. Hunter Renfroe playing right, batting sixth. Catching is Omar Narvaez, batting seventh. Lorenzo Cain batting eighth, playing center. And Peterson over at third base, batting ninth. And again, Brandon Woodruff on the hill. So the starting lineup for the Brewers today, Wong, Adames, Yelich, McCutchen, Tellez, Renfroe, Narvaez, Cain, Peterson, and Woodruff going to the bump today for your Milwaukee Brewers. That's the way things shake out. Kerry says, they end up picking up Sammy Watkins, will this help in the red zone if it even happens? And not sure this is even worth the effort. Yeah, it'll help in the red zone. Look, if you've got a good route runner, in the red zone is where the Packers have in the past struggled. 2 years ago, the gold zone, as they put it, was fantastic. They were really, really good. And then this past year, they had problems because once the field got short, the only guy that Aaron Rodgers was looking for was Devontae Adams, and everybody knew it. Now, this year, his other guy that he liked to go to, which, your big tight end, that he was out. He had the bad knee, had the torn ACL. So, yeah, I mean, once you got Robert Tonyan back, Mercedes Lewis is back, Josiah DeGuara is back, Dominic Daphne back. Now Lazard and Cobb is back, so Cobb will be there. He likes to go to Cobb in the end zone as well. But you put a guy like Sammy Watkins, another crisp route runner, into that mix. Plus, out of the backfield, you have Aaron Jones and AJ. Yeah, you'll have opportunity. But it's getting there. It's getting to the red zone. It's stretching the field and getting additional bites at the apple to get down into the red zone. Yeah, it'll help once you get to the red zone, but it's getting to the red zone that concerns me right now, because I see a lot of defenses playing guys man up on the outside with safeties kind of leaking up a little bit until somebody consistently beats them over the top, saying, beat us. And so as that continues, people are going to say, you're not going to be able to run the ball. You're not going to get big chunks of yardage out of Aaron Jones coming out of the backfield, or A.J. Dillon coming out of the backfield, or Robert Tonyan over the middle, because you're going to have the safeties leaking up. So you got to find a guy or two to stretch the field. And if you can do that with whomever it is you bring in, maybe if Sammy Watkins and Randall Cobb and Amari Rodgers and Alan Lazard, and then you find another guy or two that can stretch the field, well, maybe things begin to change. I still think you need a veteran of some sort. I still think that. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. If you want to give us a shout, please feel free to go ahead and do so. But that's the story coming out of Lambeau today, is that you've got Sammy Watkins in for a visit. So we'll see what happens there. But the big news today, it's all about opening day. It is all about the fans. It is all about the fun, the frivolity that is heading out to American Family Field, battling the wind a little bit. If you can tailgate, great. But otherwise, just enjoying the day. All throughout the state of Wisconsin, people are taking the day off, a half day, getting out to the ballpark, or maybe hunkering down at your favorite watering hole, joining a bunch of other Brewers fans, and sitting back, relaxing, and watching Brewers baseball today as the Brewers take on the St. Louis Cardinals. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. If you want to give us a shout, by all means do so. By the way, as the Cardinals put it, it's Wayno's Day. Wainwright on the hill today. Carlson leading off. Goldschmidt batting second. O'Neill batting third. Arenado fourth in the cleanup position. Albert Pujols, the designated hitter today. DeJong playing short, batting sixth. Bader seventh. Molina eighth. And Edman batting ninth. And he is playing second base with Adam Wainwright on the hill. That's the way things will line up against the Milwaukee Brewers today. Carlson, Goldschmidt, O'Neill, Arenado, Pujols, DeJong, Bader, Molina, and Edman. And then Wainwright throwing against the Crew. There you have it. 877-867-1670, 877-867-1670. By the way, here's your here's the batting history of the lineup today being thrown at Brandon Woodruff. Nolan Arenado hitting against Brandon Woodruff. He's had 14 at-bats, only batting .214. Harrison Bader batting .231. Dylan Carlson's only batting .100. He's 1 for 10 against Brandon Woodruff. DeJong, a decent .222. Corey Dickerson, 143. Tommy Edman, 235. Andrew, by the way, Nizer, he's only had 4 at-bats against him. He's 2 for 4. Paul Goldschmidt hitting .231. He's had 26 at-bats against him. By the way, Tyler O'Neill, he hits well against Brandon Woodruff. He's hitting .308 with 3 bombs, 7 RBIs, and 13 at-bats. We got breaking news.
Breaking news, Bill, from the north of the state. Adam Schefter reports the Packers are giving former Ravens wide receiver Sammy Watkins a 1-year deal worth up to $4 million.
So Sammy Watkins being signed reportedly by the Green Bay Packers after visiting today, a guy that Matt LaFleur knows from his days out in L.A. Sammy Watkins now a 1-year deal worth up to $4 million. It's got incentives in there, and the former Ravens wide receiver, the former Buffalo wide receiver, now with the Green Bay Packers. So Sammy Watkins signing with Green Bay today. So there you have it. Let's do this. We're going to step away, take a quick break. We are broadcasting live down here. STENY'S, which the first shuttle is getting ready to take off here shortly. 2nd and National, Walker's Point. If you want to come by and say hello, by all means do so. They're going to be running shuttles over to American Family Field all day. And if not, you just stay here with us, hang out, watch the game, enjoy yourself. This portion of the program brought to you by our friends at Robert's Specialty Meats. If you're going to do some tailgating at any point throughout the year, head over to Robert's Specialty Meats on Sunset Drive in Waukesha. Get yourself some of the ribs on a stick. They're easy. Just fire up the grill, lay them on there. You're good to go. It's that simple. Otherwise, the Al Capone sausages, they are so good. Brats, hot dogs, different types, pre-made burgers, you name it, he's got it. Check out our buddy Paul Roberts at Roberts Specialty Meats in Waukesha. Sunset Drive, go to Roberts Specialty Meats Waukesha.com. That is Roberts Specialty Meats Waukesha.com, and see for yourself what everybody's talking about. He is your hometown butcher. More of the Bill Michaels Show, and it's coming up next.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket. This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Buy more, save more with a patio door.
Wait, what?
Right now at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, the more windows you buy, the more you'll be saving by adding a patio door.
Miss Della from Pella?
Please, call me Gina.
Okay, Gina Della from Pella? Like, I was told there'd be no map.
Like, that's okay. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin makes it easy. Now through April 30th, when you buy 3 Pella windows, you'll save $500 when you add a patio door. Buy 6, save $1,000 with a patio door. Buy a dozen Pella windows, save $2,000 when you...
Add a patio door?
Correct. And along with 6 full lines of windows, traditional to contemporary, Pella of Wisconsin has financing to fit most any budget.
Awesome.
Buy more, save more with a patio door, but only through April 30th. Set your free consultation today at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. See showroom for details.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Hey, they got a lot of good postseason hockey coming up. It's our friends at the Milwaukee Admirals. Go to MilwaukeeAdmirals.com. That is MilwaukeeAdmirals.com, and see for yourself, because they got the end of the season on the horizon. And then, like I said 2 years ago, I thought the Admirals were going to win a Calder Cup. And I think they're going to. I really do. I think the Admirals are going to win a Calder Cup before the season's done. They just got it. And if you haven't watched some good postseason hockey, they still have a lot of hockey left to go for the end of the month. But once they get into the postseason, we're going to have to do some stuff with them, too, as a matter of fact. We'll get over to the UW Panther Arena, maybe do a show there heading into a weekend. But check out MilwaukeeAdmirals.com. That is MilwaukeeAdmirals.com. And the Milwaukee Admirals, like a lot of our tremendous sponsors, they pay for a lot of these on-site broadcasts, whether it's here at STENY'S, around the state, up at Forgotten Finer Winery, which is a winery that's coming on board as the official winery of the Bill Michaels Sports Talk Network. Our friends up in Pembine at Four Seasons Island Resort. When we go out on the road, we're up doing the Rice Lake Celebrity Golf Outing. A lot of our good sponsors pay for all these on-site visits, so we can't say thanks enough to them, and we can't do this without them. So thanks to all of them, including the Milwaukee Admirals. Go down and see them at MilwaukeeAdmirals.com. That's MilwaukeeAdmirals.com. If you're just tuning us in, really kind of the breaking news of the day regarding the Green Bay Packers. The Packers giving the former Ravens wide receiver Sammy Watkins a one-year deal worth up to $4 million per sources, and this is according to Adam Schefter. So, which, you know what, it's a veteran presence. It's something a lot of people were hoping for. They went ahead and got him. They picked him up. So we'll see. We'll see what if he pays off, if he gets, quote, on the same page with Aaron Rodgers and able to become, a trusted guy, a trusted wideout, if you will, and see what happens. But, it's not a huge signing. It's not a big speedster. It's not a huge name. It's not DK Metcalf, but it's a guy that can maybe run some good routes, gain the trust of Aaron Rodgers, help move the sticks, and then if the Packers pick up a wide receiver or two via the draft that have good speed, good size, good hands, and can come in and contribute right away, who knows? Maybe you build enough of an offense with enough weapons in Robert Tonyan and Mercedes Lewis and Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon out of the backfield and kind of going on from there. Maybe you build up enough that you've got that ability then to be able to move the chains, move the sticks consistently, and put enough points on the board. So, and again, defensively speaking, with the defense that they should have, knock on wood, barring mass injury, they should be pretty good. And, you would kind of assume that, the defense is going to keep them and give them in enough games to give them enough opportunities to be able to then put more points on the board. So we'll see. I still think as long as you have Aaron Rodgers, his ability to move the football, you run the offense the way it's supposed to be run, it gets incredibly creative. And this is also going to be very much a large task for Matt LaFleur this season when it comes to the offense, scheming the offense, getting guys open, things like that. That it's really going to be the necessity for a relationship between Aaron Rodgers, Matt LaFleur, Tom Clements, the offensive coaching staff now, specifically with, Nathaniel Hackett and Luke Getsy out of the situation, and the minds that were in that room out of the situation. It's going to be a really interesting offensive year. I mean, this is where Matt LaFleur, being the offensive play caller, is really, really going to kind of earn the money, so to speak. This is from Mark, who says, do you believe that Garrett Wilson, he says, starts out by saying happy opening day. Do you believe that Garrett Wilson will be the first wide receiver drafted? And if not, do you think he falls far enough for the Packers to get him, or what would it take to get him if they wanted to trade up? Okay, if they wanted to trade up and get him, it's going to cost you a number 1 and maybe a 2, just because he's supposed to go in the top 10. Now, I don't know if he's going to go in the top 10. I don't know if he's going to go in the top 15. It just depends on where the run begins. Again, when you look at last year's NFL draft and you look at the likes of, say, a Jamar Chase, go back to Justin Jefferson from a few years ago. You look at some of the guys that have come into the league, a guy like Stephon Diggs over the years. They're not those guys. Many people have stated that while the wide receiver class is deep in this draft, you look at the guys that are near the top level of the draft, and they're not on the same level as the guys from last year. So how much can they contribute? Will they contribute? I don't know. They get good analytics. I mean, but everybody does coming into the draft. You're going to talk about their athleticism and their speed and their quickness. But really, speed is, give me your downfield speed when the ball is in the air. Do they go up and get a ball? Are they good at that in that realm? And then on top of that, give me their ability to go up and bring a ball down from the apex. Go up and give me their ability to bring a ball down once they go up and battle for it with the defender on them. How good are they? And that's in that realm as well. Those things you got to wait and see. You got to wait and see. 877-867-1670. Mark says, I think Wainwright is going down today. Let's hope that he can even stay healthy through the game. That's one of the biggest ailments for the St. Louis Cardinals, is Wainwright is always hurt. I like Drake London out of USC. I think he would make a really good wide receiver for Aaron Rodgers. Thoughts? First of all, with Wainwright, I'll go back to what we were talking about earlier. Wainwright, I mean, you're right. Last year he was healthy. So maybe he's on this run where he's going to be healthy for a while, or maybe he used up a lot of luck last year and didn't get banged up and didn't have to take time on the IL. So you're right. I mean, he's been a guy that over the last 5 to 7 years has had probably more games missed than almost any starting pitcher in the National League, just because he's had so many different ailments. But he appears right now to be healthy. So to your statement, there's a lot of truth there, but last year and coming into this year, he appears to be really healthy. And as far as Drake London goes, he's 6'4". He's 6'4", and the big thing about him is, when it comes to the red zone, he pulls down a lot of 50-50 balls. He really does. Being that kind of a big guy, I like the fact that he's tall, he's got decent speed, but more so the proponent of his is he's really smart as a route runner. He's a really smart guy and good in that sense. So I like the fact that he's 6'4", good speed, but more so really smart. Sometimes it's, remember Devontae Adams, he wasn't 4'3" with, great leaping ability downfield. He was really smart at how he ran routes, and he had terrific technique. He was a studier, a student of technique, of how to get off of coverage, how to get around a defender or two, for that matter, or where to sit. When you can recognize certain zones where maybe you're playing man up until you actually get handed off, or you got double coverage where you're going to have a guy deep over the top by, say, 7 to 10 yards, but you can find that spot to get to and just sit, knowing that Rodgers sees it, and that's where he's going to deliver the ball. So when you turn around, the ball's there. That type of smart receiver. There's something to be said for being smart. You know, what is the old adage? Don't work hard, work smart. He's that guy that seems to be working smart a lot of the time. And the fact that he's 6'4", and he can go up and battle with damn near anybody and come down with a lot of the 50-50 balls. Yeah, you're right. He's a good wide receiver. I don't know if he's good, because they always talk about speed kills. He's not a 4.3 guy. He's not a 4.7 guy either. You know, I think he ran high 4.4s. So it's not like he's slow. We were talking hundreds of tenths of a second here. So he can still go down and get it, but he's at 6'4" and good leaping ability. Yeah, he's a guy that you wouldn't mind getting in the long run. 877-867-1670. Happy opening day. Broadcasting live at STENY'S. Eric says hopefully Woodruff finds it today. Mark says, does Watkins still have the speed and go Brewers? I don't think Watkins still has the same speed that he once had, but it's not like he's, all of a sudden running a 4.7. He'll be okay. But again, you're talking about a guy on a 1-year deal with incentives. You're going to get everything out of him, and you're talking about a veteran, a guy that's been there, done that, worked with Matt LaFleur in the past, so he already understands somewhat of the offense, So this might not be a bad pickup for the Packers, but and like many of you are bringing up over in the Bud Light live stream and over here on Twitter, I hope this isn't the only move. I hope there's one more maybe trick in the bag. I don't know what it is, but I'm hoping there's one more. This portion of the program brought to you by our friends at The Nice Ash. I know Joette and the gang probably had the TVs on down there today. If you're going to go down for a good cigar, or if you're going to go down for some Pappy or some good Woodford Reserve, some good whiskey, some good bourbons, they've got them down there. Pair them up, sit back, relax, enjoy a good cigar today down at The Nice Ash. Go to theniceash.com, 323 West Main Street, downtown Waukesha. Or maybe if you want some food and enjoy a good atmosphere, fun place on Lisbon Road in Menominee Falls, that's our friend Dan Della and the whole gang over at the Social House. H-A-U-S, Social House. Stop over there, tell them we said hi at any point throughout the weekend, and they got some really good breakfasts on Sunday morning as well. Going to go ahead and take a quick break. We are broadcasting live. STENY'S, Second and National. The shuttle is back from the first run down to American Family Field, taking some patrons down there. Back for more. Come on by, have some beverages, get a Bloody Mary, get yourself some food, take the shuttle over to the ballpark, then come back after the game and grab your car and head on home. It's going to be a good day, hopefully. Knock on wood that the Brewers get a win along as well. Stay tuned. More of the Bill Michaels Show live at STENY'S coming up next.
Covering Wisconsin sports like a blanket. This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
The NASCAR Series returns. Secure your tickets to see the big guns roar around the road course in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. For all the racing information, go to roadamerica.com. That is roadamerica.com.
Bill Michaels will resume in 5 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 4 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Welcome back to the program. We are glad to have you. We're broadcasting live. We're here at STENY'S. It's opening day 2022. Brewers and Cardinals coming up a little bit later on this afternoon on the 414 day. It's Milwaukee Day, as they call it. 414 area code on the 414, which is April 14th. April 14th, and the Brewers play at 4:14 today. Thank you very much. A couple of beverages coming up. Like that. A couple of Bud Lights. Awesome. 877-867-1670. 877-867-1670. If you want to find us, do it. There is a lot of videos floating around out there. Our buddy Mike Clemens is on the ground, and Mike just put out a tweet of tailgating underway despite wind gusts upwards of 40 to 50 miles an hour. And Mike's got a little video of the flag that somebody has posted or put up around their vehicle at American Family Field, just whipping. I'll give them credit. They parked strategically where the wind is in the front of the car and the back of the car is shielding them. And they do have a little bit of a grill going. Although, Ben, did you look at that video? It appears that while the grill has been fired up, it looks like it is coming dangerously close to setting their chairs on fire. Did you see
Mike
that?
Oh, yeah. Big J, Mike Clemens is down there, with the eyes on the ground. I think his video definitely does it justice, but I don't know if he is acting to make sure that a massive fire hazard doesn't result in disaster.
They got their chairs next to the grill.
He's down there telling the people what's happening, maybe not preventing it.
Okay. That's awesome. Yeah, maybe he's just pointing it out. Yeah, hi, Mike. I'm Mike Clemens, deputy dog. I'm here with a fire extinguisher. I can see Mike very slowly walking around, just tapping somebody gently on the shoulder, just to say, "Hey, you've got yourself a hazard there. You might want to pay attention to it."
The video looks like he's in a car, which I think makes it better.
And then he probably says, "Oh, by the way, Sammy Watkins coming to Green Bay." Tells a story. I met Sammy back in 1994, and Sammy was just a young guy then. Now, his uncle was a friend of my father's from years ago when he sold shoes down in Chicago. Now, he was on 38th Street. My dad was on 67th, but they went to a deli, which was on 50th Street. They're kind of in between. They met there, and they would sit down, and every day he would have himself something at the deli, usually a corned beef and hash sandwich, and he would end up having that. And then my dad, and he would tell this story. And before you knew it, like 40 minutes of your life are gone. You're like, okay, how does this relate to his seat being on fire?
In Green Bay, Mike Clemens on the Bill Michaels show.
Right? He would give you the absolute best behind-the-scenes story ever for the Packers picking up Sammy Watkins for the Green Bay Packers. So, no, that's great. Mike's on the ground there and tweeting and retweeting the fact that it's a windy tailgate day for opening day. No doubt. 877-867-1670. Also, Area Man says, "Hey, Bill, great day today. Not only is the wait over for the Green Bay Packers, the wait is over for the waiting list. He got tickets. Congratulations, Area Man." And he said it's my first opening day. So he's actually down at American Family Field, or heading down to American Family Field. So a banner day. He gets notified he's getting he's getting tickets for the Packers, and it's his first opening day ever. That is so fantastic. That is so fantastic.
That's a way to live.
Pac fan
now
says,
all we need is go ahead.
Go ahead. No, Pac fan says, "I love that you're making fun of Mike." It's not making fun of Mike Clemens. It's not making fun and not laughing at him. It's with him, because Mike is the absolute. And you ask anybody in the state of Wisconsin that's a Packers fan, even the Packers, even people in the Packers office, when Mike comes on and does his stuff with us on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays for the last hour of the program, it is must-listen radio for everybody inside the walls of 1265. That stuff is recognized. The storytelling, the behind it, because they find things out here that they didn't know. Mike asks some really offbeat questions, and when we break it down and we kind of take a look at things and give you the overview, a lot of the times inside the walls are like, yeah, they're right. That's kind of what's going on, and Mike's really, really good at it that way. So how you doing, Stenny? So Mike's great at that stuff. Mike is one of the best storytellers, Packers reporters, coverage guys, when it comes to being not necessarily a statistician, but a historian of that team. I don't think there's anybody better. One of the other guys that I could say would probably be Chuck Freeman, who we had on earlier today. Between Mike and Chuck, it's like living with two Rain Men when it comes to information regarding the teams here in the state of Wisconsin, without a doubt. So what were you going to say, Ben? Go ahead.
No, I was just saying that guy, all he needs now is for Adam Wainwright to retire. It'll be like the best day ever.
Yeah. Or if Wainwright just takes his first or second pitch, he's got shoulder stiffness or something to that effect, and they have to pull him right away. So, yeah, I can see that happen. I can see it for sure.
As a fan of the sport, I've loved watching him pitch for the last 35 years, but I don't know. It's
35, right? It seems like he's been around that long. Hell yeah.
I mean, he's been tormenting me since I was like 8.
Yep. It's been a while, no doubt. What is he? He's 40 years old now, right?
Yeah, 40.
Adam Wainwright, 40. Yeah, 40 years old. In case you're just tuning us in, the lineup today for the Brewers: Wong, Adames, Yelich, McCutchen DHing, Tellez, Renfroe, Narvaez, Kane, Peterson, and then Brandon Woodruff on the hill today for your Milwaukee Brewers. That'll be the starting lineup. Everybody else will be introduced. So who gets, Chuck brought this up a little early, who gets the biggest ovation today, do you think? Who gets the biggest ovation? Is it going to be Brandon Corbin Burns or Christian Yelich?
I mean, I would say Burns. They introduce everybody, right?
Right,
Not
right.
just the
Everybody gets
starting
introduced. Right.
Oh, it's got to be Burns.
You would figure it's got to be Corbin Burns. Got to be. Because they'll introduce all the non-starters first, and I got to assume Corbin Burns is going to be the largest announcement today.
Well, half of the stadium's probably thinking, Woodruff better turn it around.
Right? Well, and I also wonder how many St. Louis Cardinals fans bought tickets for this game not realizing this game would be the opener. You know? Because you're not going to go to a lot of St. Louis games this time of year because the weather down there is just as bad, if not worse, because you don't have a dome. So what do you got to figure there would be more than a few Cardinals fans buying tickets coming into town for a weekend series in Milwaukee. Although I don't know if I want to come to Milwaukee this time of year. Maybe I would rather come to Milwaukee when it's a little bit warmer out. But you kind of got to figure that this is going to be quite a few St. Louis, because they travel well. You got to figure there's going to be more than a few St. Louis Cardinals fans in the crowd. Without a doubt.
I would say Pujols maybe then, but he already had his debut in St. Louis, and he homered the other day as well.
Right. God, I
Brought
hope
a
he
little
doesn't.
tear to my eye.
God, I hope he doesn't come in and hurt the Brewers. At the age of 67, I hope he doesn't hurt the Brewers.
He looks good for 67.
Yes, he does. 877-867-1670. If you want to find us, please go ahead and do so. We are broadcasting live. We're at Stenny's Second and National in Walker's Point and hanging out down here. By the way, I know it's a little bit cold and brisk out, but it's that time of year. And if you are thinking at all about some of the creatures that are floating around out there, maybe the ones that are starting to wake up in the attic and starting to find their way into your house, whether it's bed bugs or stink bugs or those little box elder things, or you've got whatever, cockroaches, ants, whatever it is. Get a hold of our friends at Milwaukee Bedbug Pros, and get a hold of them and tell them we sent you. So because they're good people and they're very discreet, I should say, and they do great work. But all you got to do is call 414-877-5811, 414-877-5811. And it doesn't matter if you got pets, doesn't matter if you got little kids running around, they can help you out. They got different plans for different people. They're safe, they're discreet. The best part about it is it's not for people that have them. It's for people that really want to do preventative maintenance so you don't get them. Or maybe you travel, you notice one or two, you pray to God you don't get more. Or maybe you do notice a roach or something under there behind the sink or behind the refrigerator. Gotta eradicate those things now. Call them, 414-877-5811. Or maybe you are a complex owner or a business owner and you want to do maintenance, or you have a real problem. If you got a real problem, these are the people to call, 414-877-5811. That is the Milwaukee Bedbug Pros, or just simply go to MilwaukeeBedbugPros.com, MilwaukeeBedbugPros.com, or call 414-877-5811. Hang in there. One more segment to go. It is opening day 2022. The Milwaukee Brewers taking on the St. Louis Cardinals at American Family Field. We'll be back right after this.
This is the Bill Michaels Show on the Wisconsin Sports Zone Radio Network.
Bill Michaels will resume in 3 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 2 minutes. Bill Michaels will resume in 1 minute. Bill Michaels will resume in 30 seconds.
Final segment of the broadcast, and we are here at STENY'S. We got to say thanks to everybody involved with the broadcast down here today. Thanks to so much to our buddy Kevin Holden from CBS 58 for coming down. Also Andrew Wagner from Forbes.com. Thanks to our buddy Chuck Freeman. It's been great to see Chuck. He was down here a little bit earlier. He had to go home and get a nap in before he goes down to opening day. Thanks to Jim Ozarski from the Journal Sentinel. A terrific article and if you haven't seen that yet, read it yet, I highly recommend you do so. You can find that article, the link to it. Scroll down a couple of segments on the Facebook fan page. Go to facebook.com/The Bill Michaels Show, and you can read that there. Just a really good piece on Giannis. So kind of cool. But nevertheless, thanks to all of them. Thanks to Ryan Stenny, Laura Jean, Jerry, Natalie, who took care of us earlier, and still behind the bar. She's still cranking behind the bar here as fans continue to pour in. If you're watching on the Bud Light live stream, you know exactly what it is I'm talking about. Pretty good crowd down here waiting for the shuttles to begin to start moving people out of here again. They've already ran a couple of groups of them out of here, and they've got 2 shuttles lined up, 2 big school buses lined up. They continue to shuttle people down to American Family Field. So thanks to them and everybody for coming out today. What a successful day it's been. What a good day. What a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Has it sounded good, Ben?
Sounded wonderful. I am sober and hungry, but aside from that, it's been great.
Yeah, it's the food here is fantastic, and that's going to be one of my first priorities when we get off the air. We had a little bit of the Bill Michaels garlic cheese bread earlier and a beverage. We did have one of their award-winning Bloody Marys. Had one of those, had a Bud Light, but by the way, I got to say thanks to John McCabe. John is one of the original. John is Milwaukee Brewing. John is the original brewmaster for Milwaukee Brewing. He started it years ago, started the Milwaukee Ale House downtown on the river, and then got so popular and so big that they ended up, expanding over to where they are on 9th Street. And John is the original. And then they brought in businessmen and donors and money people, and they grew and continue to grow more and more. But John stopped by, bought me a beer, dropped it up, gave me a fist bump while we were on the air. John is such a good guy. Thanks to John McCabe for coming by, and just a whole host of good people. Thanks to our friends in the Milwaukee Police Department, just walking in, strolling around, making sure the crowds are good. It's not like we bring in a bunch of rowdies or anything, but thanks to them as well. So what a great day down here. What a fantastic day. As we had mentioned a little bit earlier, the Brewers obviously taking on the St. Louis Cardinals. Adam Wainwright goes to the hill today for the Cardinals. Brewers only a game behind them now in the standings after getting 3 out of the last 4 wins, back-to-back wins over Baltimore, getting it before they got out of town. The Brewers won yet again last night. Solid performance by Corbin Burns. And hopefully Brandon Woodruff can get off the schneid today and kind of turn around what happened in that first game against the Cubs. That was a game in which it was a 9-0 loss. And it was ugly, to say the very least. Suzuki drove in 3 runs for his first big league RBI, and the Cubs ended up just drilling the Brewers that day, 9-0. The 2 teams, remembered, exchanged words after Andrew McCutchen was hit by that pitch. Keegan Thompson suspended for 3 games. Ross has now served. The manager has now served his suspension, so he is back in the bench. Ian Happ had a big game in that one as well. So, and Woodruff, he hit Contreras, don't forget, in the fourth inning, and Nick Madrigal, by the way, in the first. And Contreras was also hit by a pitch in Thursday's season opener. So that's kind of what led to that back and forth, so to speak. And Woodruff struggled. He struggled. The right-hander allowed 7 runs, 6 hits, 3 walks, struck out 2 in only 3 2/3 innings for his shortest outing since August 12th. That, by the way, was also against the Chicago Cubs. So hopefully Woodruff kind of turns things around today, and he's able to pitch extremely well and get the Brewers a home opening win at American Family Field. And thanks to everybody that's on the ground at American Family Field, by the way, sending us Twitter pictures. Mike Clemens is over there getting some video, and people that are kind of taking the video of the Porta-Johns that are sliding across the ground because the wind is so strong. By the way, Kevin Holden from CBS 58 sat down and was talking with Mark Attanasio and said that Attanasio, on the return to normalcy, says, I was a part of the labor committee. What struck me wasn't so much the work stoppage as well as the effects of the pandemic. Cardboard cutouts in the stadiums. He said, I was wearing a tracker that would track my every move. He said it's good to be rid of all of that stuff. So even as an owner, you had to wear a tracker so you knew who you came in contact with. And if they ended up contracting COVID, that then he would be alerted that somebody that he had tracked near had COVID. It just, the sense of normalcy as we continue to trend in the right direction is fantastic. Now, I know there's some, things that are going on throughout the rest of the country where some numbers are on the uptick, but let's just hope that we're the worst of this is way, way over, and we're good to go. By the way, he continued on talking about the labor talks. He said we were trying hard, and the players were trying hard. It's great to have a full season, a full 162 games, and a return of the fans for this opening day. So good stuff from Mark Attanasio, and thanks to Kevin Holden from CBS 58 for putting some of that stuff out and getting it to us today as well. But I think everybody, don't you get the sense, Ben, everybody is just, and I know, look, the airlines are kind of the last bastion of mask mandates to try to put that down. But don't you think that with everybody just kind of getting back to the full sense of normalcy, life returning, things are starting to come back, even though we've got inflation going on and, interest rates are going up, and I get all of that. But don't you get the sense that people are just glad to be able to go, whew, you can breathe again, baseball's back, our summer's on the precipice, like things are just good, right? Things are trending in the right direction.
Oh, it feels great. And I'll add to that, especially over the couple months from October to January, maybe November to February, where baseball was really in question.
Yeah.
That was tough because we were also in a point where we didn't know if we would even get a full season or if we would have the sport at all. So to have opening day here, to have baseball back, it feels awesome.
Yeah, it really does. So congratulations to the fans. We made it. We made it through the other side, which is fantastic. And for everybody down here at STENY'S, as you can see over on the Bud Light live stream, if you're watching, and thanks to everybody over there, you can continue to subscribe over on YouTube and get more and more and more of the show. But thanks to everybody for checking us out. And you can see by the larger amounts of crowds that are here now, there's a little space in front of us, but beyond that, it's packed wall to wall all the way down to the other end of the bar and behind me as well. But it's good to get Brewers fans back. A lot of people excited for today, for lack of a better
Bill, what
term.
is the most impressive jersey you have seen in attendance there?
Well, I told you we started out right away with a Jeffrey Cirillo jersey. So that was the first one. I did see there's a gentleman at the end of the bar. I don't know if I see him anymore, if he's still here or not. I don't know if he was taking the shuttle, because the shuttle, I don't know if you can see in the far distance beyond the farthest window. If you're watching on the Bud Light live stream, the shuttle just left. But there was a gentleman down there in an old Milwaukee Braves jersey with the Warren Spahn on the back.
That's a good one.
Big high kicking lefty from years gone by, Warren Spahn. I saw a Warren Spahn jersey. See a lot of the old school jerseys. I saw a Gorman Thomas jersey a little earlier today. I love when I get a chance to see a good Cecil Cooper jersey. That's fantastic. The next shuttle bus is just pulling in too to take fans down to American Family Field. I love a good old Cecil Cooper. And then I did see I will take that back. I think probably one of the most unique ones. I saw a George Bamberger jersey earlier today too. the old Bambi's Bombers, the old manager of the Milwaukee Brewers from 1982. So I did see a George Bamberger jersey.
I didn't think I knew who that was, but
yeah. Yep. An old George Bamberger jersey. But other than that, it's pretty much what you'd think. It's Yount, it's Yelich, Fielder, a lot of Braun jerseys floating around. But Robin Yount, I think, is probably the most predominant jersey that's down here today. Just, kind of off the top of my head. So that'll do it. What a hell of a day. Now I can officially drink and get on with it and get ready for the rest of the day. It has been a good one. Again, my thanks to Kevin Holden. My thanks to Andrew Wagner, Chuck Freeman, Jim Ozarski. My thanks to the staff and management, the ownership down here at STENY'S. It is Cheers of Milwaukee. If you ever come into the area from wherever you are in the state of Wisconsin or within the sound of my voice, you got to get down here and try it out. It is a staple here in the state. And then obviously we're heading over to American Family Field. Hopefully the Brewers get a win. It is Woodruff on the hill against Wainwright. Time for us